got a premonition, I'm dreaming you and I. All my darkest fears are coming outside. We got a billion races, we got this melody. And you can trust me, baby, we got everything. Call me whenever you feel alone, babe. And when you need to cry, I'll be by your side. Call me whenever you need someone, babe. And when you need to escape from 1,000 fires, I'm gonna kiss you wherever you are. And I'm gonna miss you, I will never lie. Call me whenever you need someone, babe. We're running in the jungle of love. I got you on my mind. You were stuck in my head and I don't know why. We got a billion races, we got this melody. And you can trust me, baby, we got everything. Call me whenever you feel alone, babe. And when you need to cry, I'll be by your side. Call me whenever you need someone, babe. And when you need to escape from 1,000 fires, I'm gonna kiss you wherever you are. And I'm gonna miss you, I will never lie. Call me whenever you need someone, babe. We're running in the jungle of love.
Ladies and gentlemen, boomers and zoomers, welcome back to the continuation of the grand final of EGL Season 3. Brought to you by Dell and Intel, and oh man, it's so good that we actually get to be here. We get to do this the day after the first time in EGL history that the grand finals has gone 1-1. So now, it's a simple best of 3. It's a simple match that just one of the sides, either Sinister 5, Benchwarmers, have to pull through to finally take that championship. Of course, never alone in this journey, and the load shedding has been so bad, I had to drag someone out of retirement to get him here. Like, look at this man. I don't know, I forgot on which side of me. Devin, Helbin, what? You're back! You're back here, man. I'm so happy.
Yeah, no, it's really good to be back. Obviously, as you mentioned, I guess my rumors of my demise were greatly exaggerated. I've been retired now for what? Been like 3 months or something. I don't know. Since the beginning, I obviously retired at the beginning of EGL Season 3, so it's interesting to be back. I've always had soft time. I'm always doing stuff overseas now at the moment, but still getting ready. Still in a temporary place. You may notice my gear is a little bit different, and I promise my mouth is there, but I'm using a laptop. But yeah, I'm just glad to help out. I mean, obviously a lot of love for the South African Dota still, and I think that EGL is pretty much the future of South African Dota, so I want to do everything I can to help out. And what an absolute privilege! I mean, as you mentioned, it's the grand finals of Season 3 of EGL, and that's just something not many people get to really participate in like a first-hand experience like this. Obviously from the player's perspective, from the shoutcaster's perspective. So to have an opportunity to be back here again to do that is really great. So thank you very much to EGL for having me here, and I guess in the circumstances, happy to help. I realize that I'm sure everyone wanted to see Snare right about now. Sorry, they stuck with me for at least 2 more games.
You stuck with us too for at least game 3 and 4. If you missed out on yesterday's action, Benchwarmers took quite a surprising but a very dominant game 1, and then Sinister 5 changed that up and brought it back in game number 2 with... It was a little bit of a run over, we're not going to lie here. It was a bit
mid lane was a disaster.
It very much was.
That was...
Puck into Batrider, Not.a.Hero was already saying that this is not going to work anymore. The puck's nerf have made it too bad, and the buffs to Bat it's just made it like that. So, yeah, mid lane didn't go too well. There's a lot to the pressure
as well, though, because I think when I was watching that, I noticed that there was some, I'd say, pretty basic mistakes that were made in that mid lane. Look, he wasn't going to win either way. Let's just start with that. But I think that pressure to almost overperform is sometimes the Achilles heel for great Dota players. And I think that what definitely happened there was that he was trying to overcompensate for the disadvantage he was at, and the irony is he made it worse on himself. So I think we'll have a very different game.
Pull out as much as you can from a losing lane, and then it ends up just backfiring worse on you. Cut your losses, move on. But Castaway versus Out of Stamina, tale as old as time, and actually this is the first time that they faced up in the mid lane during the grand final. Of course, actually Season 1 I think Castaway was still playing mid. Or was that MD? No, it was MD. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. So first time they're facing up here in the grand finals, at least in us. This is game 3, of course. They played 1 and 2 yesterday, and if this does go to a full 5, then we will be back later tonight once the lights are back on, and we'll see if we can get there. But I think both teams, they don't want to let it get to that. They want to take this 3-1. They want to get home. They want to enjoy their prize money. MD wants to go and do his shopping, and they just want to get it done at this point. So we will see what happens. But so far, yeah, like I mentioned, the first time that the EGL Grand Final has gone 1-1. All the previous times it's been a 2-0 lead from the start, and I mean, Season 1 and at previous Energy, now Benchwarmers were able to bring one back game out of the bag, but Sin 5 closed it out in game 4. And last season, it was just a 3-0 wipe. It was like you said in the cast, it was the return of the Kings. The Kings are here. They are the ones that have brought this new era of dominance, and now we're nearly a year later after that, thanks Esco, that we'll actually get to see if they still are that dominant top dog. Of course, Sin 5 didn't come into the tournament as the number 1 seed, but they took that upper bracket match, and now they tied it up here in the best of 5. So we'll see if they can take it the full way.
I gotta say as well that beyond just the performance of this grand final being unique, I think the actual tournament as well has been unique for several other aspects as well. For example, I actually think that the fact that we're casting Benchwarmers for Sims 5 wasn't as ordained as the previous iterations, where we kind of knew early on who the two favorites were going into it. But if you recall back to when we did the opener, we were all over the show with who was going to make it to the grand final. And if you look at the low bracket final as well, like I believe that was unless something crazy. It was 2-1, and there were moments in the deciding matchup as well where it felt like it could go either way. So the fact that it's ended up like this is incredibly healthy. Like what a great place to be at, where you have new blood coming in, you have obviously Benchwarmers, as you mentioned previously, like we know them as energy most traditionally, but for whatever reason, let's not get into whatever politics, whatever reasons there might be behind that. I don't know, by the way, so I'm just leaving that totally alone. But obviously they're the side that are currently playing as Benchwarmers, and we'll see what that ends up for them. Are they going to stay in this Benchwarmer team? Are they going to be picked up by maybe like traditional? I mean, there's the Bravados of the world that might suddenly be looking at Dota 2 and stuff with new gaze. I mean, I think it's got to be said. We obviously have some amazing, like actual Dota players in the form of just capable individuals. But I think we haven't been able to shine a light on them for a while now. EGL has been the one place where that's been possible. And now we're in a position where I think Snare has suddenly just put the entire world back on, or at least the South African esports world back with the limelight onto Dota 2. And what they're going to find out if they keep looking is like, obviously Snare's he's the tip of the iceberg. He's the one that's in the most prominent position, and kudos to him. It's so great to see. But at the same time, there are some amazing South African Dota players that also are shining right now. There's an amazing community, there's a growing community, and this is the kind of place where you'd expect to see the ceiling just exploded away. It was a concrete ceiling for a while. It wasn't even glass, it was concrete for a while. Yeah. And now I think that concrete has shattered, and we're just staring up at like an infinite amount of growth. So I do think great time to be involved in South African Dota, and great games that we've seen already in the EGL. Great entertainment, and I think this final, now we mentioned both these two teams definitely want to win this outright 2-0, get the job done for sure. I want to see the grand finals from the couch. Yes. I want to see game 5, so let's see what happens.
I've got my snacks, I've got popcorn, I've got drinks, I've got everything here, and I'm just wanting to recline back in my chair and watch a brilliant Game 5, which we haven't had the pleasure of doing yet in EGL. So that is what we want, but of course not what the team wants at all. When you get down to those nail-biting moments, anything can happen. And you mentioned the Snare going to TI, of course. Side note, just a quick tangent off to the side. Go buy his voice line. Show the guy some love. It's a great line as well. If someone misses a black hole or, cancels. It actually happened last night in game 2. It was just like, yeah, it's a great voice line if you miss a black hole. And then Soup went and provided the perfect example. So it was a little bit of an oops moment. But yeah, go to his voice line. Show him some support. Go get his sticker. Stick it on your profile as well. But yeah, back to the Sin 5s. And
otherwise, what's actually going to happen, by the way, is... I'm going to be under your bed tonight. Yes. And I'm a big guy, right? I'm not as big as Not.a.Hero, right? He is a huge human being, but I'm also a large person, and I'm just not going to let you sleep. Like tickle your feet when you try and pull your blanket away. It's going to be really uncomfortable. Nothing too like hectic. Don't worry. Like 2022, I know my boundaries, but I will tickle your feet. It's going to be very awkward. So, listen. With that said, I do agree. It's incredibly exciting for us. We're all friends with Snare. We're all like we're obviously just overjoyed for his success, but today, as you mentioned, isn't actually about him. Yeah. And we'll leave it there. We'll leave the Snare talk alone. We promise. We'll bring this now back to the two teams that are definitely the highlights for today, Sinister 5 and Benchwarmers. And they have worked incredibly hard under incredibly challenging circumstances. Thank you, ESCOM. And I think that it's time for us to appreciate how hard they've had to work to get to this point, how competitive it is, and enjoy them for being the two best teams in the country. No one can take that away from them, but who's the best?
It does come down to that. It's always think of EGL, right? It's like South Africa's mini TI, right? This is the one that matters. This is the one that everyone wants to win. If you have that little accolade next to your name, you're set. You're good for now. But yeah, Sin 5 Benchwarmers making it through the whole way from the 16 teams. Of course, they were both in the upper bracket final as well, so had to play relatively little games compared to, say, XD or ZIZ, who had to fall down one round low to them. That is, of course, the advantage that the double elim format gives to those winners who can make it through 3 games in a row. But now, yeah, it's best of 5. It's always a thing of, I always look at best of 5s as these sort of groups of best of 3s, you know what I mean? So it's the first 3 games, the middle 3, and then the last 3. And it's interesting seeing who always wins them outright. So at the moment,
It's interesting how your brain works. That's like I said, I've never thought of it like that. I've been doing this for a long time. It never even crossed my mind, George.
When this game 3 happens, right? I always look, okay, who would have won if it was if it was a best of 3? Then if game 4 happens and it goes to 5, then you're looking at, okay, who would have won the second, and then who would have won the third. And
But you're overcomplicating this. It's the best of 5. It's now a best of 3.
Okay.
Because we only have 3 games left.
Right? Look at last.
No, George, we're not doing this. Dota is complicated enough without whatever you're bringing to the table here, right? take it from the word of the wise here. We have enough stuff going on. It's okay. We don't need to add more layers.
If you're already drowning, why not add another bucket of water? It's fine.
It's like you're in the pool. You're kind of scratching at the surface. You're just trying to get the last grasp of air, and your friend comes by. Instead of helping you out, instead of offering you a hand, instead of reaching out to rise you, what he does is he pours a glass of water on top of your head.
That's how you know he's a true friend. That's the thing. Okay, you cannot tell me if Etienne was like half fuddling in a pool, not actually drowning, okay, so it's actually drowning helpful, but if he's half fuddling in a pool, of course you're gonna stick his head back in for a second as a joke. It's fine. It's fine.
I'm horrified. No, I would not. What I would do is I'd probably jump in the pool. Like, you okay, buddy? Don't drown on me. You know. Now, if it was perhaps somebody like Shaky, I mean, you know, we're not as close. So maybe, maybe we'd push him up a little bit.
Well, you say about close. You're about the closest to him at the moment, actually.
Oh, that's true, actually.
Yeah,
and
Germany's a lot
I
closer
think
to the UK than we are. Yeah.
Also a good person to mention, another one of those great up and comers. We're talking a lot about the players and the fact that we have these great new players that are ecosystem and a very competitive ecosystem at the moment. But shout out to yourself and Shaky in particular. I mean, also great to have new blood coming into the casting scene. I think it's been a while as well. I mean, obviously you guys are old hat now. Two seasons of EGL, so it's like old. It's time to get some new ones in on top of that. But it is obviously nice to see, because I think before you guys joined the scene, I want to say that it was kind of like, I think it was like Scarpy, myself, and Snare.
Yes.
And then like Not.a.Hero was still playing at the time, so I don't really include him. He was kind of, obviously now he's old hat as well, because he was a player caster basically. But the 3 of us we were like it for like 3 years or something. It was crazy. It was a very long time before we had like new blood that kind of stuck around. We obviously had people came in and out, but you have to be here for X amount of time before you're, No shade to any of the other people who have tried or anything like that. Just want to point that out. But just nice to see people have stuck to it.
Consistency is the key. That is, you got to keep going, just like the teams. It happens.
100%.
If you are wondering what is the tiny bit of delay, we're just wondering, or not wondering, getting the last guys in the lobby, load shedding permitting, people have to run around to uncles, nephews, and generators, and dogs and neighbors, sisters to try and get power to be able to play. So it should be coming at any moment now. But yeah, in the meantime, I believe we have another giveaway that's actually going to be going on later during the stream. I can be corrected in a moment if I'm wrong. But yeah, for the grand
final, win this giveaway. I just want to point this out. This is super important. I want somebody to put their name in chat for me, because here's the thing: I might be here casting, but I'm just a guest. You know, I'm very happy to be a guest here, but technically I'm not employed, if you would, by EGL this time around. So I feel like I should qualify for these giveaways. I want my free stuff. What is the free stuff today?
I've asked. I'm checking. You want to know about? Okay, it's the Evetech.
If I win, it's a 7,000 grand themed outfit. If I win, if you guys win, you have to give me half, and it's still.
Sure.
No. This is great as well. I just realized I can say anything.
Oh no.
I don't have any side agreements this time around. Hold on a moment here.
gets out the list. Okay, who am I going to defame first? Let's see.
Yeah, the problem though is that like I can't even like, because the worst thing to do would be to insult on the sponsors or something like that, right? But then I'll just give myself up because I literally use I use Evetech as a service provider. Like I actually do it, so I'll just be like. But that's also kind of nice because I do, in fact, want to say I actually like all the people that are involved, all the sponsors and stuff. Like I have a laptop from the sponsors sitting in front of me right now, and by choice. So the point is that it's actually nice to be in. Oh, this is so refreshing. Oh, what is this? I've been held back my entire career. I had to say nice things, but I want to say nice things. This is so different. I like this. This is good. This is good. We have great sponsors, ladies and gentlemen. Here's to them, for reals.
Dell and Intel they've been very generous with this season thus far, very understanding with the load shedding issues and so far. So, like there is no shout out great enough for what they've done, but it looks like we are going to be getting into the game in just a minute. And if you are just joining us, this is the grand final, the continuation of it with Sinister 5 and Benchwarmers. Currently, the score is 1-1, and it's a simple best of 3 to decide who gets to be the champions of EGL ONE Season 3. And ooh, it's going to be a good series. They've never gone 1-1 before in the finals. It's going to be good. We're going to have different drafts coming out, I'm sure. No more pucks picked into Batrider mid, and we'll see what happens.
Although Jorge, we've discussed this. It is we got to keep this simple. It's not a best of 3. It's a best of 5.
Yeah.
Stop pouring the water on the drowning man. It's a best of 5, and it's 1-1. So it's kind of like a best of 3 now, where it's regular Dota. We've done this 100 times before this season, right? Hey, there's a stat for you. How many games did we play in EGL? Can you figure it out?
Oh,
Come on, stats man, George.
I will go and count. I will be honest. My actual thing that has the thing buggered up, and I don't have all of the games.
Let's get so rough. We'll accept a rough. 10% in and out. We're very careful.
58? I don't know. 58.
I feel like I don't trust your numbers.
I don't trust mine either. I can't count.
I feel like that is the minimum requirement for a stats man. It's like the ability to count.
You see, counting is simply going. How far can you count? I'm not Mr. Beast. I'm not going to count to a million. Right? It's about what you do after the count.
I don't think you count to 1 million, but I think you count to 100,000.
Was it 100,000?
Something like that, yeah.
It was too high. Too high for any sane man.
Yeah, I think counting to 1 million might be more difficult than one. I mean, think how many seconds are there in a year? That's the stats man. Okay, that's the real question. Then figure out how long it would take to count to 1 million. Okay, but
I wanted to touch on this. So, since we of course had the change from 731 to 732 during the season, and we saw a bit of carryover between the metas, so Dawnbreaker was still very popular. But the main person that saw a very big increase in his pick win rate and ban rate is Undying. Actually, he has 100% win rate in the 4 games he's been picked in 732, and he's been. Actually, I'm looking at this now. He's been involved.
Balanced heroes, just moments for TI during the grand finals of EGL.
He's been involved in a lot of them, and same with Winter Wyvern has been banned out almost every single game, first ban, and a tiny ban for Benchwarmers. So this is more just okay. Grove, we're not going to give you a tiny. They're probably going to pick up Earthshaker for him, but Grove is such a flexible play. He has this very in-depth hero pool that it's always hard to just ban out the heroes that he's going to be playing. So hell, looking at it now, Shaker doesn't look too bad. I would say Earthspirit is a bit of a rough one with the Disruptor in this game. Same with Nyx. So Shaker's a good pick for Sin 5 here, especially comboing with the Dawn. Sin 5 have played it in the mid lane and the off lane, so we'll see what they opt to take the Dawn with, but it's good picks either way. It's sort of Dawn's being left in this pool because of how good Death Prophet is at the moment. The change from the Spirit Siphon from being percentage to a flat heal, it's extremely strong at the start of the game, and Super's proven to play it in that off lane quite well. Not.a.Hero did say when he's not playing on one of these tempo heroes, it's a bit it's a bit of a feels bad because Adestam doesn't have someone to fall back on. But now Morphling, this is a comfort pick, I feel, for Sin 5 since game 1 or game 2 yesterday. Actually, MD has played it before as well. So this carry Morphling, he did a very interesting build with the axe, and he was just stealing spells, becoming another hero on the enemy team the whole time. And there's a lot of damage as well. You can't deny the amount of damage, and especially with shard change, how tanky and how hard it can be to kill. So the strength morph during any stun time, you're basically never going to burst Morphling anymore with if he's full agi or near full agi at least.
Well, they do actually have a fairly decent answer to him at the moment, which is obviously Disrupt. I mean, Morphling traditionally weak to silence. Pick that straight into that Disruptor, so he's got his AoE Doom target right there. Don't limit an enormous amount that Morphling can do, but it has to be said as well that up against the Dawnbreaker, it's not as potent as normal, since the Disruptor ulti is just a call to action for the Dawnbreaker. Like, okay, got two boys stuck inside the kinetic field, inside the LT. I'm gonna drop mine straight on top of it, maybe with a slight delay, so ideally comes out not as, you know, not just jumping, oh, I'm silenced. That's obviously something you want to avoid, but just hang back as long as you can. Toss down the middle, and what you're going to see as well is that Benchwarmers themselves are going to be forced into that bubble. So it's that call to action that I think Dawnbreaker actually will, you know, happily deal with in some capacity. But still, got to answer to the whole thing. Obviously, if you let that hero just kind of run with it, it's going to be a problem. But wisely so, Benchwarmers also ban out the Earthshaker. So one of the, I think, and we both agree, solid pickup for Sinister 5 at the moment, and gives them that long range catch, gives them disable, gives them, you know, something to combine with the Morphling later.
Yep.
Obviously in this case, just way too good for Benchwarmers to leave on the field.
The Quap ban is
still Bat Rider, by the way.
Yeah, this still is. I really hope this just isn't a flat repeat. If they do take out Tut, so at least that tri-lane isn't going to happen anymore at bot for Benchwarmers, which didn't go too badly for them actually. But the Quap pickup is a little interesting. Since 732, she's been in 5 games, only won 1 of them. But she's been banned out a lot of the time, and when she has been banned, they have a 57% win rate. So it's at least good on that in that department. And given that 732 has been the majority of these late stage games, I'm looking at it. It's White Rabbit Aura, ZZ White Rabbit, XD ZZ, Benchwarmers Sin 5, Benchwarmers Sin 5. So in all of these games where Quap has been picked, she's only won the once. So it's a bit of a weird ban, but it is a comfort pick for Adestam at least. The change to a shard, I forget if it's 730 or whatever, or shard, sorry, a dagger, giving her that heal, gives her a bit more sustaining lane, but like, I don't see the value in its ban, honestly, especially its win rate for Benchwarmers in Sin 5. Yeah, it's...
Well, I would say that one of the key things about it, like, I don't know the Bat Rider, for example, if I'm honest with you, but obviously one of the big things that it does provide is just another source of silence, which you don't want to... Queen of Pain can absolutely demolish Morphling if she has a good time, right? Because she just picks on him for that period where Morphling wants to farm. Gets up a quick Orchid, just keeps it Morphling silenced. Very hard to defend against, especially if it's something like a Shift Q blink. So you just get that immediate Orchid off onto the Morphling into Sonic Waves, Queen of Pain. That's 90% of your HP done. You know, the Disruptor has a right click on you and seals the kill. That's kind of how it works. So, so I do understand the ban, but I do think it needs quite a bit of thought. I mean, there's still some big hitters. I mean, there's the Bat Rider, so
yeah,
wasn't lying to you. That is actually starting to look very nice for Sinister 5.
Yeah,
like really good against DK because of how much magic damage it has. So you obviously like just all the sticky stacks like Dragonblood doesn't really survive through that. And also Dragonblood's a very slow hero when he's in this melee form. So
that is going to get stunned up quite a few times, especially with this Nyx. There's so many things he can stun him off of. Like if he comes up late to the fight and he's busy dragging away one of his cores, he just Spire Carapace on the Firefly that was before. You get a stun on him. It's not ideal. You'd rather want to reflect something big. But yeah, your thing of the magic damage on the DK and the slow that it gives to them is good.
I think although I half agree with you. Now I'm going to probably tank some criticism for this one, but I'm going to make one. Is that traditionally something like Disruptor is super good against Batrider because Batrider jumps in, starts pulling something back, especially with the current build where he's more about speed than something like Force Staff.
Yeah.
So Disruptor just sends him back, and like we're done here. So thanks for playing. But I do think that it's the lane domination about Batrider that's more important at this point. Like he just absolutely smashes you in lane, and then by the time you know at some point he has his BKB up, and all of a sudden things like clips aren't actually a problem anymore. So I do think it's the lane domination that makes Batrider good, not necessarily that. But they are really responding with some good like early pressure heroes. Like the Legion Commander Disruptor will be really good against what they're tossing out to the Legion Commander. Save is a big deal against things like Batrider. Even just the fact that you're going to have something to just bolster that DK. Like try kill me now actually, because you're going to dispel a lot of the aggression. And additionally, just Dragon's Blood with press the attack is just so much regen early on. So their early stages I think going to be really powerful. When that Nyx hits 6, there's going to be scary times for Sinister 5 around the field.
Okay, so they probably stick this DK mid now with Adestam. I don't see them playing a carry DK or a carry Legion, especially when you have the damage of the Morphling to contend with. So both the Legion and the DK sort of they want to get the fight going early, and they want to have a nice bit of front line to do it with. So yeah, okay, Sin 5 thinking the same thing. They ban out the Nyx, and they ban out the Naga. Of course, Depi Naga, how can you not deal with it? I think they're fine with leaving the TB in the pool, especially with the amount of magic damage they have, and the fact they have a Morphling, then he can get his own Metamorphosis off. So they're fine with it. Pick your TB, we'll beat it anyway. But yeah, taking out some of the other bans that they think. Depi Naga. It's I'm actually thinking of ODK Naga, now that I'm thinking about it. Whoops.
Well, you know, Depi and RDK played together for a bit, so...
That's true. He rubbed off.
Maybe learned some things.
Got some fish scales on it, you know.
Yeah. Like, you can only watch RDK farm for so long before you start to figure out how it works, you know. I've been there, guys. It's,
5 seconds
okay, I forget. So the farming meme is old, I know. It's like the guys are like a totally different player, but you'll never live it down. Good old 2014 RDK, just... The game has been won, and you just like... You're trying to take the throne, and no one's alive, but RDK is like, guys, just hang on, I almost have my heart, you know, it's just, you have 6 slots, why are you buying a heart?
It's fine, I need the stats, man, otherwise we won't end, you never know. they'll all sell their items, get 5-man Dagons, and just, blah, dead. I need the heart, I need the HP. Anyway, last pick here for Sin 5, assuming they're going to pick up their +5 here, I'm wondering what, is the best option for them, as they don't have this last pick, and they don't really want to get completely screwed with the Disruptor.
I think what would be nice for them is some kind of like, or I was gonna say maybe something a little bit tankier, just to be, I'll go for Benji.
Yeah.
Interesting. And a PL response. A PL's really good here. They do not have great. Yeah, I mean, things like the Rubik have the Fade Bolt early on, which help, but later on doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Vengeful Spirit's Wave of Terror will help a little bit, just to identify the Phantom Lancer and kind of help bring them down. Actually, VS is actually pretty good here, I just feel like they have a lot of armor on Benchwarmers, but that PL is a real problem, and especially for things like Morphling, where you just... You attack fast, but Phantom Lancer creates illusions just as quickly. So if you can't identify the real one, you have problems. So I really like that PL pick.
It's a proper pick, yeah. PL has had this resurgent as one of these very dominant late game carries, as long as you can get him there. And Morphling, hell, the change with him needing mana to Agi shift, if he gets a bit too low mana at the start with the Nyx and the Diffusal on Depi, he might actually, that thing of him saying being able to actually attribute shift during stun might not be the case yet, but on the notice of stun, they don't have too much. A lot of it is a single target, and I'm even thinking of Duel as a stun at this point, so it's a tricky one here. I think if this goes past the sort of 35-minute, 40 minutes, and it's still an even game, Benchwarmers going to take it thereafter. But if Sin 5 can run with this aggression from the bat, it's going to go their way. What about you? How's this going to go? Give me your first prediction from being an unretired Dota caster again. Come on.
But you see, again, like I'm on the books, right? So I can just do what I please. You're not the boss of me. Honestly, I think that there is enough on Benchwarmers to keep this going for a while, and if they can keep it going for a while, then obviously I think that PL is going to shine and cause a lot of problems. As far as Sinister 5 go, though, if they don't shut down that PL, if they can sort of get through that early to mid strength that we're going to see from the likes of this Nyx Assassin, then I think they're in a good place. But the biggest thing is that they cannot permit Deppy to have a game. He needs to be shut down. If he's not shut down, I think Benchwarmers have a massive advantage, especially with the amount of save that they have from the likes of the glimpse from the press the attack. Just that zoning capacity that they have going to be the big thing to deal with. But that said, the Morphling can also just win games because he's Morphling.
Yeah.
Should also point that out. Sometimes just
Snare would never agree though. Anyway.
You know, I will say that Snare has also spoken in many finals about things like how bad the Winter Wyvern was when the Winter Wyvern went and then destroyed everything. So his track record with it isn't great. I personally think that Morphling is it is definitely hit or miss though, right? When have you ever seen a Morphling have a meh game? It's always the game where he's not needed, right? Like where everyone won the game before he got involved. Like that's how you get a meh Morphling game. They're either just being destroyed or destroying people. So maybe that's the key.
At all.
Morphling has a 75% win rate at the moment. The only loss was with Aura against their match on WOG. But since that, Sin 5 have played it twice. They're the most that's picked up this Morphling. Last time was with the Bat, but he also had an Undying with him in that game. So a lot of this heavy team fight that they like to combo the Morphling with. If you are just joining us, looks like we are finally getting into game number 3 of the EGL ONE Season 3 Grand Final. If you are just joining us, it's brought to you by Dell and Intel. The series is currently matched 1-1. And now, simple 2 games that each of them need to take the championship. But now, we'll smoke up here from Sin 5 up on the high ground. I think they're expecting Benchwarmers to sort of run over here. Can they actually see? Yeah, they can see Toxic on the other side there. You can't see them at the moment because they are smoked at the top of that cliff.
You're in for a big surprise.
There we go.
Not where you want to be, friend. That is going to be first blood for sure. And one, they leave it for Castaway as well, so you want to make sure that they get as much onto the back right as possible. I still hear the sounds of battle though, so it does look like Soup and Schlinks are going to have a little bit of a tussle here. It won't result in too much other than some good damage. Soup's got a lot of move speed on him at the moment, so takes him down to half HP. He doesn't want to waste the magic whistle mana, but it looks like he's okay just taking bot lane instead. And the TKC starts hitting him. It's just okay. Welcome to Dota, ladies and gentlemen, where melee things like to punch you.
Game is so good that it's broken out again. Take it away for a second.
Well, bottom lane is hilarious because I actually just realized that it's also the 2 laning partners as well, so Soup and TKC. I just didn't want Soup to remove that filth next to his name right now. I get to do things like that again. Oh, this is wonderful. Anyways, top lane is searched a little bit about them. Got Chosen One rocking that Dawnbreaker. He's side by side with Grove, and the one who was first blooded, Toxic, Deppy. Kind of a KO guess to be the support being first blooded. It just kind of sucks for mid. You know, that last game was pretty devastating experience, so something they do have to be concerned about. And this is not going to be any easier. Castaway obviously has a hero that does very well against melee characters. This time around, Adam does have pressed attack, so he's got ways to at least deal with the initial, I guess, burst damage of a Batrider. Is he can just get rid of all those sticky napalm stats and I'm missing kills. He died.
That was just a top lane.
Yeah,
C1 and
Grove gets the first blood and the second blood. But I'm more interested in it anyways. this. I just want to point this out. So like Adesam can just again press the attack, and he'll get so many magic wand charges thanks to his sticky napalm. But as you can see, it still hurts, and this is the problem: is that like it works in theory, but as you can see, Castaway it actually considers it. And Adesam forced to press the attack underneath his tower. Looks like he'll win the race to the top ruin at the very least, so not entirely over. And like, I really need to watch top lane. This poor disruptor.
Yeah, that's a kill of respawn. He's gonna have to make the long walk of shame back to lane. And yeah, so it's the Grand Master Tier Grove. You cannot underestimate this man. We mentioned in the draft, his hero pool's so deep and so versatile that he can pull anything off. Back to this top lane. It's Seppi doing okay on the last hit department. Top of the CS at the moment, 12 for 1. Ahead of the MD at bottom, that he has DK to deal with, who's just hitting into him this whole time. Okay, just look at Soup and Schlinks at this jungle. They've just been running after each other for a solid 30 seconds.
No, that hasn't been what it's been. It's been one thing. It's been Soup running after Schlinks. Let's not mess this up. Schlinks is literally just sitting here like, oh, really?
Oh,
my life. Top lane, Deppy, in a little
Yeah.
bit of trouble here. Chosen one. Unable to commit. Realizes that there's still that wonderful Bell doppelganger that he needs to get out of harm's way here, and return of the toxic. He's back in. Made his way back to lane. I actually think Deppy's okay with it. By the core, like, I haven't died. I'm farming alright. I still have the highest last hits in the game. Do you just keep doing what you're doing, buddy?
Yeah. Mid lane, nothing too interesting besides Adestam breaking a hell of a sweat. Trying to keep up and stay alive with Castaway, breaking the sticky napalms on him. That's why the 16 one charges, and like you mentioned, the pressy attack is a way to purge that damage that comes out as soon as Castaway tries to commit. But the thing is, he has to commit it after he throws this flame break, right? If he does it before, then Castaway just goes, okay, free game, I can just run now. And Castaway, the blocking to get the bottle. It's, yeah, cheeky man, but he knows his strength at this point in the game. Uses a purge off, has used that one now.
That's actually a pretty important play the Castaway did there, because if he doesn't get that, he's actually in trouble in the lane, because he needs that mana. He needs a lot more than Adesam does, because again, he's got a full magic wand now, he's going to keep plugging it. The big thing though to watch, I think, is that it's going to be very hard for Castaway to kill Adesam at least until 6, so it's really the last hits and denies that are super important here. And Castaway is 21 for 5 versus the 19 for 4 on Adesam, so that does hurt. Level 6 you're going to have a problem, but right now he's okay. I think the big thing is that somebody's got to rotate in here from both sides. 6 Castaway becomes a real threat. Potentially can, if assuming he goes for Lasso, he might opt just for more lane domination, to be fair. But if he does go for Lasso in particular, then the only way Adestam survives it is if he gets a friend to help him out, which means that you Castaway need to get a friend in as well to make sure that you can potential no kill to maybe a double kill, or at least a comfortable top lane. Toxic in a little bit of trouble here. He's backing off towards the tree line, trying to play a little bit of keep away. Drops down a ward. Leave me alone, he says. He's still alive. Still alive. Double stun comes in as well. That is fantastic news for Benchwarmers. Finally will go down thanks to Chosen One, who's a big boy at the moment, very strong. He realizes Eternal Soup picks that one up as well. Deppy now backing up because this one has not worked out the way that they want to, and that is all down to the Lamb, because it was in fact the keep away performance by Schlinks there that worked out in their favor so well, finishing one into a kill going their way. However, it's still 2-1 in favor of Sins 5.
Dawnbreaker, the ballerina with the hammer. You don't want to mess with them. Spin does a lot of damage. Mid lane, Adesam's getting very low, and you mentioned Castaway needing a friend. 6-minute runes are going to be controlled. Which means gets a regen on bottom, and now Adestam. Yeah, this is going to hurt. He's got a range drop now, so tanking up as much as he can. Has opted for the duel at level 6. Soup showed up here as well. Gonna be a replay of what we said a minute ago. Just Soup hitting into Schlinks.
EGL prod, please just stick a replay over the live screen right now, because we've seen this almost exactly the same behavior early on. Even the same place, this was the one version.
Yeah, Schlinks can't do anything. It doesn't have boots. There's more than 80 move speed on actually exactly 80 move speed more on Soup. So I could just hit him all he wants. I'm actually very surprised. If we look down at bot lane, MD has been sitting on about 200 HP, absolutely chugging tangos like he's a lettuce muncher.
Top lane, Defi in trouble. Picked up by the telekinesis. Goes one, getting the top flip. Boom, boom, boom. Does connect with that stun. Finishes the job as well. Toxic has to back off this time.
Kill on Defi. That's the important bit. Net worth sitting 4th lowest at the moment. Dawn is
Bottom
actually
lane.
the top lane.
He's cast away. Pulled back TKC. Hasn't quite finished the job just yet. He does land the initial thanks to the Morphling. Get the stun off onto Soup as well. He's got Frank, so that move speed is limited. The waveform after him. He's trying to make his way back to the tier 1 tower. Can he survive? Looks like he can with a beautiful stun. And that Impale, is it enough? Looks like they'll have to sacrifice one. There is a wave of terror in a second. Long range 5 ball is going to be the one that picks up the kill instead.
That cast range is stupid. It should not be that long.
Honestly, he didn't even hit him on live screen.
Oh,
Game
top lane.
really
Here comes a duel at a stab. Showed up to the top lane. Dawn ulti is going to come through and it's going to hit the stun onto him, but the wall is here, so Toxic keeping him in. Adesam doesn't want to commit this duel too early because Dawn is a tanky person. Grove has the minus reduction from the Fade Bolt as well, so not going to commit to that, but rotation use, and Castaway is going to keep pushing on this mid lane, and oh, he might get the ruin. He's got to use the Flame Break to get there. He just bet him in.
That's what I'm talking about.
Lost the bat.
Exquisite.
That haste rune is great as well. That's a. When did you pick it up though?
He just got it. They literally just
Okay,
picked it
good.
up.
So he's got time for his L2 cooldown. He can
They
make a rotation.
smash noses running to it to get it. Both need reconstructive surgery.
I will say this much: don't let the game fool you too much. Just get 8-1. Sounds pretty scary, but look at the net worth.
Yeah.
There's less than a 1,000 gold lead, but it's actually going to with Benchwarmers, so not that bad. Swings to the bottom lane. They're going to bring in Castaway. He's going to start flaming around. Realize he's got to respect Soup as well. Got that spike carapace up. Slow things down for a second, but they're going to bring down TKC. No problem. Turn their attention to Soup now. Soup, but by the magic missile, no way out. He is down 10-1, but still a. Where is this money coming from?
It's just the supports. It's the main 3 cores of Benchwarmers are quite healthy at the moment, but MD is actually low on his net worth. Ooh, top lane actually, yeah. Chosen one. Picking up another kill. So I'm gonna try and get on Defi. Yeah. Yes. He should be going down here. Oh, he's actually juked him with the illusions! He's actually got it!
God of Dota!
What a man.
What a... No, this was... No, not like the... No, he's gonna die. He's gonna die. No, that is just... Depi, that is filth. That is not okay. Dude, I came out of retirement for this. That is so good. Just, you know what is amazing about that? You often see people try to do that, but it was just amazing how he was. No, I don't care about silence. I don't care. It's Adesam.
Hold up.
I don't care. No,
Hold up.
I want to talk more about that. Stop crying.
That was actually
talking about Defi. No,
it was
that kill mid happens every game of Dota. The Defi thing was amazing. Right? Somebody use the Snare voice line right now. Where is the Snare voice line right now? This is when we needed it. Opportunity
TKC
lost. Can't done.
has showed up.
Re-retiring. I'm not gonna get better than that. I'm re-retiring. Goodbye.
Here's the top lane of the Dragon Form, try to push out the tower, but now, yeah, mid seems to be the focus of the game thus far. Adesam was able to turn that kill around, or at least it looked like it until Chosen One ulted in. They did have to commit the flame, or the flaming lasso, and a lot of a dive to actually get the kill. But 2 kills were the end result at the end of the day, so they're going to be happy with that. Castaway actually got a kill on his return as well, into Toxic. Yeah, well, it seems like they're taking a little hiatus at the moment. They just want to
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
MD's farming up, low HP as usual. Careful of running into too many creeps and hitting Wilson's one shot. As bot lane, Defi, being the focus of attention again, is going to doppelganger dodge the flame break. You can get out of there quite easily.
Defi, God of Dota, making no mistakes.
I thought you said you're leaving it.
Came back just for Defi. Yeah, I'm just gonna like over exaggerate everything he does. I'm like, oh, look at him go. Look at him deal with that tomato in the middle there.
Yes.
Look at that.
Look at it.
Tactical getting stunned. Tactical getting stunned. Meant every bit of it.
Mid lane.
Mid lane, Super in a little bit of trouble. Hey, look at us, Jinx.
Fine.
Personal Jinx. No, I talk to the rest of the broadcast. No? Okay, I guess that's my age showing. Oh, better low damage on Super. He is down. Oh, no, actually, I stand correct. He's still standing for the time being. Pale comes up, Bells from the Rubik. Overtear will finish the job though. Can use the glimpse back, then a pull back Chosen One, but no follow up at the moment. At the end of that.
Chosen One outputting a lot of this damage with this Falcon Blade. Popular pickup this game. Alistam has one in his pocket too. Stun is gonna miss, but this is a lot of people you gotta contend with in this mid lane.
Costway is looking terrifying. I don't want this to go away. That missile comes out, Alistam is then they start dragging him back. They do have the gun so well positioned there, Castaway not going to get anything out of this one. And there are some more rotations coming in for Benchwarmers at the moment. TKC, Super Toxic. They're in there, Dragonform pop, this is pressure. This is not necessary for a fight, this is for pressure. They want to bring down that tier 1 tower. However, it's been caught out by the Connect. He's on the sidelines at the moment. But actually, they're doing a lot of chip damage, and this is considerable amount of work being done by Sinister 5. Big damage on Alistam, stop straight back in, come back up here, buddy. You're going to finish him off pretty cheaply. They do get a stun out of this next. Follow up with the Impels, well, immediately stolen. So there is an Impel back waiting on that Rubik. Doesn't have the mana for it though. Good damage onto TKC. Shinx trying to buy a little bit of time, does go down as well. So 2-for-1 at the moment. Plane break for Castaway, pulls back TKC low. High five of friendship, not going to be accepted. He goes down to 3-for-1 in the end. It's just support going down. Sinister 5 will also claim a tier 1 tower for this. That is big boy plays, and they're going to be very happy with that performance. And even Deppy, God of Dota, unable to turn that one around. Tactical work by him being in the bottom lane. Actually, jokes aside, that's actually the right decision to do.
He doesn't want any part of this fight at this point, yeah.
You would know, of course, because he's Deppy, God of Dota. These fools are teaming in on Deppy, God of Dota. They think they've surrounded him, but really they're trapped inside Deppy. Then comes Chosen One. Tactical death by Deppy. Obviously, drawing all the attention away from anything of importance. No one cares about the bottom lane.
Tactical death.
Great work by Deppy. God of Dota, I don't know if I mentioned it. He's actually coaching all the teams at TI this year.
Can we just fire him this time instead of him retiring? Is that an option?
They can't fire me. And no contract.
Behind you. Yeah, that's true.
They can't kick me off. They could just stop transmitting me. That they could do, but Reese likes me too much.
Look at Soup on MD. MD solo. Oh, away, form away. Lol. They're still following them though. They see him here, and MD. He's got 3 friends that he doesn't recognize. About to collapse onto him.
Soup
I think
actually
he knows. He knows.
Yeah, he knows.
He knows.
Straight to game.
How did he know that? What? That is mad. They had no vision of that whatsoever. Absolutely none. He wouldn't even seen Soup down there when he was
To be
next
honest,
to him.
that's probably like a call from somebody saying like, hey, this map's too quiet. And he's sitting there like, hold on, what? Am I vulnerable? And like, oh, I am vulnerable. I'm not... His creeps aren't worth it, and then just turns out being right. In fact, you know the truth is, I was thinking about this recently, it's like, as casters we see that happen, and we're like, wow, that's amazing, but we weren't looking anywhere else because it wasn't relevant, because we, you know, kind of have map packs, right? Who knows how many other players were doing the exact same thing at the same time, and we're like, wow, that's amazing, how did he know? It's like, all 5 of them, like, running back towards their towers.
It's going to be the case. Net worth at least, Alistam topping the table here, as well as the other 2 cores of Sinister 5. So you were speaking about that net worth.
Deleted.
Oh, moly. That's just a bit too quick.
Grandest Magus, Arcane Supremacy, those Pale and Fadebolt hurts.
Yeah.
And they bring in more, by the way. TKC, got to be a little bit careful. He doesn't actually have anyone to defend him, so he is at, you know, the place where Batrider can really murder him. Castaway looks like he just wants to push out this mid lane. Interesting decision. I did make the joke about not caring about bot lane, but we really don't, so they want to play towards their objectives, and that's what they're doing. But take a look at Benchwarmers at the moment. They're on the bottom side of the map in the jungle, busy farming here, and it is drawing the attention of some of the 5-6 droves leading the charge down there, but might still be the game keep away from the moment. Deppy doing good work though. I want to point this out. He is 4th on net worth, but he's not far behind. He's 1,000 behind Castaway. That's significant for sure. But only a couple of gil. That's too much Final Fantasy. It's a couple of gil behind the Morphling. And look at him farm. God, it's taking just enough damage.
Just stand him first. 2. Over to travel. Oh, perfect hit. Oi! Bye bye, Castaway. Oh! Hold up. The illusion manta dodge from the clips. What was that? You're talking about Deppy
That
God of
was
Dota.
cast away, becoming God of Dota instead.
Radiant's
Deppy
middle
dethroned.
tower is under attack.
Oh my word. Okay. Can we get his like dementia medicine? TKC again, trying to get this mid lane, but the dragon form damage, you can get a couple of hits on it, and then someone shows up to defend this tower. Yeah, top lane, Sinister 5 trying to get a go here. Did you get the shield? Adastam.
The fact is, Wallbreak L's coming through as well. They do manage to finish the job onto Adastam nicely. And this is ticking over 6k net worth advantage. We were about to chat about it before I started my nonsense, but I think I'll steal your thunder for a moment and just point it out that this 5 are already pulling away now. That the XP advantage they obviously had from getting all those extra kills may not have reflected in gold, but now we are reaching a point where this 5 are. They're actually starting to look a little unbeatable. If I take a look at the graphs for a moment, they have a 72% win probability already, and I don't see this slowing down because they still have a lot of core items to pick up that are going to make this even better. And of course, Deppy pretty far away from being the threat that he wants to be. He wants to go for Heart next, and until that's up, I'm afraid he is not participating in this Dota game.
Very interesting pickup from Castaway. Actually, he has a gem. So aside from soup, that's the only reason I have it here. But I guess if they want to catch out this little tricksy little bug, then that's one way they can do it for sure. Heading into
Probably
this
worth mentioning, just to not steal the thunder, that is Schlinkson's gem. But
this is Schlinkson's gem.
yeah, he's got the BKB up, so he's feeling confident carrying it, and obviously just
Sure.
going to be on the front line anyway. He's going to have to secure it. But they also secure Roshan, so if you grab that's going to go the way of the Morphling. He's also been a little bit quiet, but that's kind of what you expect from Morphling. But now with this Aegis up, you want to see him contribute to a big push, big team fight, big objective. I think what they need to do is they really need to make this map very small, because at the moment the one thing that needs to be said is Deppy's still going. He's now third highest in net worth. He's having a good old farm at the bottom. They're doing enough right now, I think, to give them a chance towards the middle later stages of the game. We're reaching the 20-minute mark, and if they can keep this up for another 10 minutes, so Deppy's free farming the way he is now second net worth, this game changes on its head.
MD, never been the top of the net worth, but always been there. Does farm a little bit slower than the Phantom Lancer, but we do have the smoke play coming down bot. Let's see if Castaway actually falls victim to this, but they have vision up there. They saw, actually no, there's smoke, so they wouldn't have seen them come. Epi, they're showing the spot lane. You have TPs coming in the middle, and they actually smoke up themselves, so counterplay here. The smoke might actually just break once they have this vision. Toxic, very close, yep, smoke breaks, Castaway going in. As the lasso, actually, very careful. Final BKB is popped, so the lasso is going to be there onto Adastam. The duel might come out in response to it, but I think he's just going to admit himself to death at this point. Castaway, God of Dota now. Takes him down, and it's on a godlike streak, actually. Chosen one. Takes out Toxic as well, and they actually found Deppy from these ancient creeps, but the real one dipped a while ago.
Well, it does really feel like this is starting to get just, I would say, not out of control, because again, they do have a plan, they do have Deppy just farming around, but this is, you can see that the decision making from Sinister 5 is very good at the moment. They're not taking their foot off the gas at all. They're going to keep going quite aggressively.
TKC, Castaway TP'd onto the creeps. It was me. He was just having a nice little laning phase with the MD, but now mid lane, Chosen one, ulti's up. Deppy caught up. The duel's actually going to go onto the Rubik, and the stun's going to come through as well. But pop that, but Soup pops up the massive stun. The Spire Carapace is stunning everyone up in the side. It's Lynx being the victim of Adastam at the moment. Chosen one does finish off Toxic, and now Adastam. Again, you got to be on the run at this point. Does have the blink available, is going to get it off. MD is here, as is Aegis. Not going to go forward, they're just going to take the objectives now. Sin 5. Working with that gold advantage, and good kills coming out. They didn't get MD. Sorry, Deppy. Same syllable. Oh, Soup! The hit from the ulti is going to come through, and yeah, he's going to pay with his life. Was that worth 4 for 4? I'm not sure.
I think it's worth in a weird kind of way, is that if you take a look at that last fight, it's really clear that Sinister 5 are targeting the Phantom Monster. they could have gotten a lot more out of that fight, but you saw deep dives coming in from the Morphling onto that Phantom Lancer, trying to find a way back, and there were a lot of people committing to kill the Phantom Lancer, ignoring other heroes. Like the only reason that Anastam survived that was because he was not the focus. He was not the thing they wanted to get rid of. He's not the thing that's going to win the game for Benchwarmers. But I do almost caution that. It's like you definitely want to have your eyes on the prize, and you want to deal with the Phantom Lancer, but you could have killed extra people there, which would have made Phantom Lancer's life just as hard because, well, he can't farm anywhere if his team aren't on the map. So maybe a little bit of intent misleading Filter 5, because again, probably could have got more out of that, but they're in such a commanding position at the moment regardless. The kill from the next though, it just slows things down. You just want the clock to keep ticking. You want to hit that 30-minute mark, 40-minute mark, 50-minute mark, and all of a sudden you pop again.
Understand, bot lane. They were looking for him. He's shown in this lane. Deppy's here too. See if Castaway can catch him. Hop the Firefly very early, and he's doing it again! Devin! Okay, they haven't fallen for it for this time. They've got him now, yep. Castaway called his shenanigans this time, and now Deppy, yep, left in the middle of 4 of Sinister 5. That's going to be him going down. He tried it. He thought it worked once. It fooled him, but couldn't work a second time.
You know why it didn't work is because this time, God of Dota was custom. So,
but Deppy was only God of Dota after.
He could see into the future. He knew what was going to happen.
Castaway
he knew which illusion was which.
Yeah. Is under attack.
He was just, yeah. I mean, it's a good trick, but in a weird way, you almost like you can't do it twice in a row. Like, people are gonna be onto you. You gotta mix that up a little bit. It only works the puppies. Well, top lane, however, there's another fight.
TKC, you're a tanky DK, but I don't think you're this tank. Castaway and Chosen One bringing out the magic damage as well as the Deso. Deal with all of that armor on both the DK and the PL. Mid lane. So, just doing a little lift up. Stun's coming out, but argy bodgies. Nothing comes of it. I do find it interesting, Castaway hasn't bothered with the blink dagger at all this game. I think it is in response to the glimpse from Toxic. So, if he's able in the area a bit longer instead of blinking in and catching someone, that glimpse isn't going to do as much as it would previously. But MD, building up to the axe, has a Lincoln Sphere done as well, so doesn't have to worry about getting insta-dueled. Of course, while he's in duel, he can't do that. But BKB pops up, the duel's actually going to come out with Adstam and Castaway as well. Deppy is in the area, but he gets lifted up, and Castaway is just going to live. So it's going to come as the ulti was too late from Toxic, and this is a full fight for Sinister 5. MD keeps up the kill on Adstam, and now Grove. This is zap onto the Disruptor. How does that feel? This is your own spell used against you. It's MD. Actually the one that casted it. Blink out. Toxic. Surely going to fall down. He has the spinny from the Ballerina. He's going to kill him off in that time. So a good bit of jump from Benchwarmers, but dueling into that BKB, they had no damage to really throw into it, and Castaway just lived through it and lasso after. Easy kill.
Castaway really ambitious, yeah. Goes back in, he's caught up by Super. Nice work. They actually turn one around. You can see they have the damage, not quite. They do swap them out, but the towers.
Oh. Castaway does flip. That's the important one. They did get that kill. There was a nice bit of play from Soup with the stuns and the Spire Carapace, reflecting a lot of that damage. But yeah, they're not going to push through here. Oh, there's 2 gems, actually. MD. Got both of them on his courier. Now, Adastam. You're in the firing line here, buddy. Oh, Chosen One. He's actually going to have the lift into the ulti. Is going to hit quite. TKC has shown up to the fight. Doesn't have his blink dagger up. Has the Dragonfall, and the glimpse back is going to be their Deppy. Oh, oi! The spin to actually cancel it off. The BKB stops the glimpse coming through. Oh, Grove exactly blinked there. Deppy runs onto MD. MD couldn't get over the cliff. This is very bad for him. Mantling's popped. The Blinkins is going to be there. The duel's going to come out, but the swap. MD's going to be safe. Adastam runs over the cliff, and now he's the one in trouble. The fight's going on to the backline is Deppy. All these illusions is just not enough damage. Chosen One's trying to do what he can. He's living up through all of this. This paintball is going to come through and kill off Adastam and MD. A lot of strength in him. Castaway, God of Dota, has returned onto the previous God of Dota. Relinquish the throne. He's going to kill him off in anyway.
It's actually huge that bring down Deppy. There could have been a big moment for them.
Oh no, not like this. TKC is going to get stunned up from himself. Nope. Soup says, I got you, bro. I got you.
I almost
Really good
see
impels from Soup. Got to
Very
point that out
good.
as well. We haven't spoken a huge amount about it, and it's obviously with the blink tag you expect him to get big impels off, but he's consistently hitting more than one hero, and that's a big deal helping out his team. Unfortunately, not enough for Benchwarmers and their fans, but
Radiant's bottom tower
look
is
at him stun
under
those
attack.
creeps, huh? Maybe showing a glimpse of God Dota himself. Stunning those creeps incredibly well.
Radiant's
Mid
bottom
lane,
tower
lift
is
up
under
again.
attack.
He's going to be into the flame break, pushing him back, and the lass is going to be there. The glimpse is going to take him back, but it's actually to where he was going. MD gets the kill with the adaptive strike. Actually, see TP's coming bottom now. A lot of TPs. 3 of Benchwarmers just saying, hey, we're going to go bottom. I kill off Chosen One here. They do have the smoke ready, so yep, they see their target and they're going to go onto Chosen One like he has never seen before. Stun. Gets onto him. Going to be the deal to follow that up. And yep, definitely a kill here for Benchwarmers. 20 deal damage. Is that his first deal? That's his first deal. Oh my.
His best, alright. You call that one out, right? That's like,
Yeah.
you know what you just did there? It's like 2 people in a bathroom, you go to the urinal, and you kind of look over at the other guy and just give a little giggle, right? Like, that's what you did. Not okay.
It's 20 deal damage.
Dire are scared.
Yeah, okay, George. I know when we ever go into a public bathroom together, I'm using one of the stalls. That's all I'm saying.
Let's be honest though, that deal is more like a BKB piercing stun in these games.
100%. I think
The damage
and,
is just the bonus.
It's probably worth pointing as well. There's 90% win probability here for Sinister, but they haven't taken any racks yet, and I'm not a big believer in the Valve predictions at this point. And I definitely do think that Deppy is starting to kind of become a little scary. You saw that previous fight in particular. He stayed alive for a very long time, and that was without a completed heart. So if he does finish off that heart before the next fight, it's going to be that much harder. And then the next thing on this agenda is actually probably, I don't know what he actually goes for. He hasn't lined anything up. I'm curious if he just goes more tanky. Yeah, like a Bissell Scotty is kind of what I'm thinking is more like a tanky build. Yeah, it looks like the Scotty is the one. And he picks up the Mind Breaker, so now he's got damage too.
You get these stats on the PL and
Casual.
the illusions just are unkillable as well.
I think if he does get to the next item before this game ends, this game looks very different, regardless of what's going on elsewhere around him.
Yeah.
But that is still very far away.
Have the smoke up. I see a target of TKC, but he's sort of the sacrificial lamb this game. Has his BKB finished up. So he can actually live through a lot of this magic damage they've been pumping out. Grove. That is smoke popped and they actually counter smoke right into them. Toxic in the break here. The stun's going to come onto him. BKB is popped and the duel's actually going to onto him. The Chosen One ulti's going to come through. The duel in the meantime is going to be lost. And now Deppy, he's all alone here. The half is finished, so he is a tanky Phantom Lancer, but MD is pumping out this damage and that is going to be an easy kill. As a lasso secured that one easy. And now TKC was supposedly sponged, so they just left him alone. Only one left alive here for Benchwarmers, and yeah, Sinister 5, 39-9 with a 15k lead at 30 minutes. This is looking about all she wrote.
Game. Yeah, this is done. It's the objective that they needed. The fortification will slow things down a bit, but it's 30 seconds without the Phantom Lancer. He does not have a buyback either, so it's not going to happen. They are going to need to get 1 racks. If they want, they can either go Roshan after these racks, which I don't think is a terrible decision, because they will be ready to defend the next racks. Roshan will be a lot harder for them to defend. But they don't even get it. They've managed to hold.
Yeah.
That double fortification, that actually...
Okay, it's a change, don't worry, I'll explain.
Okay.
They actually did a cheeky little play there onto Chosen One, but fortunately, Chosen One has that built-in BKB. Stam's running forward here. They want to try and get this kill. They do have vision of Sinister 5 at the moment. Oh, TKC, not like this. Nope, that's not crickets indeed. Oh, shit, that is Stam! He gets swapped in. The BKB is going to be popped. This physical damage does not care about that. Dusty's going to be there, and he's just going to fall to the right clicks of MD. Toxic doesn't get brought back to the flame break, but now, yeah, this we were saying about all she wrote before. I don't know how much 2 heroes of Benchwarmers can hold up to the full might of Sinister 5. Awkward moment Castaway has more deal damage than that, Sam.
Okay, no, for real, this time it's like, no weird, you know, I guess my retirement showing for a moment there, but... Is there quadruple fortifications coming up at all?
It's everyone who knows, you already know this, but they changed it 732 when the first of the tier's towers fall, your fortification gets refreshed. So as that first tier 3 tower fell, they got the fortification.
Gotcha.
So you can fortify the tower and then the racks thereafter.
Very good. Very good. Game's getting too short, Doc.
Accurate.
Back to your time.
MD. DD picked up. They're going to head into the destroyers pit. There's going to be Aegis and a shard. He's going to pick up the shard. Might be MD. Yeah, he's going to just take it for that anti-shift. Bot lane. Castaway. Not the smoke coming in. Oh, not the smoke, sorry. Just Soup showing. Soup's going to be dead here. Unless he can blink dodge this, I think he's very much dead. Oh, I just saw him. Okay. Swing and a miss 3 times over. What the hell was that? Castaway. Doesn't have his blink to go forward here. The flame breaker is going to hit straight after, so he's not going to get stunned. Carapace or the Impale's rather going to be there, and the physical damage from ND is just too strong at this point in the game. He actually uses the glimpse from Toxic. He was doing this yesterday. This Aghanim Scepter.
Has fallen.
Yes. It's very strong. MD. Like a pseudo Thompson. His ulti does come out from Chosen One. It's going to be onto TKC. BKB TP's out, so Grove not going to get the kill. 2 down for Benchwarmers once again.
What does
Still over.
Deppy do? He's got no money. What is in your career? You gotta bash him. So you change back for the thistle.
I think he realized he needs the damage earlier. Cheaper
If you don't spend it, you're not gonna, you're not gonna have anything to spend. So.
Castaway. Stunned up. Blaster's gonna be there. That's easy kill. Deppy actually jumps in as the illusion damage. He's going on a lot onto slings. The TKC is here as well. Doesn't have BKB as he used it earlier. Toxic. Throws out the ulti and the Sage launching the hop of this, but the stun is actually going to come through from MD with that range of distance as they do finish off the kill. Onto Deppy, previous god of Dota, and MD. I wouldn't be surprised if he ties the town in here. He's going to do so, but the GG has been called. So Sinister 5 take a 2-1 lead. Yeah, he actually kills him at the base of the Okay, MD. Okay. We see how it is in Sinister 5. They like the way this looks. One game from securing their championship, and Benchwarmers have to now push it for the first time in EGL history to a game 5 if they want to take this match. Oh, it's going to be a spicy one. This is I like
tough.
the way this works.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm all for this, right? I want to be sitting on. I almost want to move the camera. That couch over there, the couch over there, it's very comfortable. It's just long enough for me to lie down. I have a pillow there, so I can really just like settle in nicely. I want to watch the grand finals from that couch, not from on this mic. And that's the dream right now. But it's gonna be really hard. Sinister 5 has had 2 very convincing wins back to back. Now, when I was watching the broadcast yesterday, Not.a.Hero and Snare brought a very good point forward, which was that momentum from last night, it dissipated overnight. Like everyone's like, whatever, it's just a game. There's nothing in it. But now there's dread because you've lost 2 back to back convincingly. And in a way, because it was 2 convincing ones with a separation, it feels like a different series. And I think that makes it worse now. Like when you're coming into this one, it didn't matter, but now going into this next matchup, I think it makes it worse. I think Benchwarmers are going to have to do something very special to get to Game 5. And I want to see it, but I will make a prediction here. And I think that Sinister 5 are going to win this next matchup. And I think we're about to witness the end of EGL Season 3. I don't want to, though. I want Benchwarmers to prove me wrong. I'm an old man. I'm retired. What is this? I'm in Germany, I'm going to go have a pretzel later, go pat some little hogs. You get these little hogs, Google it. It's pretty cool. I don't think you can actually pat them, though. They're going to gore me, but I'm going to try pat one. And I want to be wrong, but I do think that Benchwarmers are in big trouble.
Yeah, Sinister 5 looking very strong here. They have to sort of find something, Benchwarmers at least, have to find something against Sin 5. In this game 4 now if they want to pick it out. I think this Bat Rider is just too much of an issue. Maybe letting out the Undying or the Winter Wyvern or mixing up some of these bands and just sort of getting it out, because Sin 5, they'll just pick it up first phase. They opted to take the Dawnbreaker first. So unless Benchwarmers up for a first pick, I don't know if they have the option of it. Unless they opt for that and they can swipe up the Batrider for themselves and sort of play it along that, that's an option, but I feel like they just got to get rid of it. Castaway, did too much in this mid lane. He dominated it too hard, and then they ran with that momentum the whole way. Even though that gold net worth wasn't in their favor the whole time, it is at least a way that they were able to snowball their momentum and keep going throughout, as we are going to get into Game 3 in just a moment, but there's going to be one winner tonight, for sure, for the completion of EGL Season 3, but there's also going to be a winner at home. And you know who that might be. Your favorite thing, Devin, your absolute favorite thing. What is it?
Little hogs?
No.
Oh, the free stuff.
Free stuff! The
Oh,
turn
so I'm
of
rusty,
free
it's
stuff.
been a while.
You invented the free stuff, man. Come on. But yeah, free stuff, of course, today is going to be the
Yeah,
Evetech.
you heard that right, everyone. I invented it. No, it's
We
not
don't
the
discredit that.
sponsors,
Nope,
EGL admins. It's me.
The free stuff is yours. But
I jest. Shout out to the sponsors and EGL, the free stuff.
is going to be, of
Who's
course,
got the free stuff? It's me, right?
No, it's some of the others. Devin,
What do you mean it's not me?
it's not you. Someone else gets to win it. You don't get to win
I'm calling my agent.
it.
Also, I need an agent. Someone.
What agent? You're not hired. Anyway. It's going to be Evetech Gaming Mousepad. If you do want to enter into the giveaway for that, all you got to do is head over to twitch.tv/evesports. I'm sure you're already there, but if you're on YouTube, hop over to Twitch, and all you got to type in chat is EGL ONE. That is EGLONE. Type it in chat just once, please. If you don't, you'll be drawn from the draw, and we'll have a very big frowny face towards you. And yeah, is only available to South African residents, so sorry, Devin. But for the rest of you guys, it is a glorious mousepad that you get to enjoy as long as you enter the giveaway and be lucky enough to win it, of course. So
I'm not okay with this. I want my mouse pad.
you can
Whoever
go buy one.
wins, whoever wins this mouse pad, you remember that we talked about being under your bed? I'm coming. You know,
Gonna
wake
tickle
up at
their
night and you
toes.
hear like ruffling through your office, and then I'll stare at you and hiss like a cat, just whilst like lurched over your desk, stealing your mouse pad.
What was it I said about dementia medication?
And I'm bringing a hog. I'm bringing one of the hogs with me from Germany.
It's gonna sniff on your toes as well.
Yeah,
Anyway.
it's gonna be. We're gonna get
What is
people,
this? What is
people
happening?
giving me weird looks in real life now. I guess I should stop doing this. There will be no hissing and hiding under your beds. You're safe, promise. And I will not bring a hog with me from Germany. Don't worry. You do not need to send the white van with the nice people in white clothing.
Okay,
We
I think
do,
got
however,
it. We
need
got
to
it.
get this game underway. Come on, let's go to grand final. Guys, this is no time to mess around. I don't know why you're talking about hogs and stuff. This is
You were the one who
grand
brought up
final,
hogs,
Sinister
yeah.
5 versus Benchwarmers, and here we go.
Game 4, of course, if you are just joining us, Sin 5 are up 2-1. They took one game last night as well as Benchwarmers, and now they're going to see if they can close up the series, or if Devin and myself can go and sit on the couch and enjoy a nice game number 5 for the first time in EGL
Dire
history.
team
So,
bad.
Sinister 5, they got it all to play for here, and Benchwarmers, they got it all to live for. And like I said, first man, they get rid of the Batrider. They just don't. We're not going to play with this anymore. They lost 2 games in a row to it. It was too dominating in either one. They tried a different pick to sort of just deal with it. Didn't really work.
And that was, by the way, 2 godlights back to back.
Mm.
It's also worth pointing out. It wasn't just a
5
we had a problem with the
seconds
hero.
remaining.
Castaway demolished them both times on that hero. Adestam had almost no game in both. And that's an important thing to note as well here, is that both Benchwarmers and Sinister 5 are very heavy on their mid performances. They rely quite a bit on it. And in the case where Castaway is having an amazing time just running around as if he's playing against like people
10
that are
seconds remaining.
half the skill of him, which is not true. But when you get a lane like that, he's going to make it look true.
Mm.
When you find yourself in that situation, you gotta see, and your mid, your hero player, Adestam, is just not having a Dota game. Looks like he's playing Dota for the first time. This is horrible. This no, I didn't mean to do this. I'm so sorry. Oh wait, no, I don't have to. Sorry, I'm becoming retired.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah. Anyways,
No repercussions.
Whatever.
Adestam. That's what we're going. You look like Adestam. That's
What was
right.
it what was it? Okay, wait, hold up. I want to touch on a small thing that you were heavily involved with. Is it Adestam or Adestam?
Adestam.
Adestam.
It's
10
it's
seconds remaining.
it's a
Who's
dastum.
Adam? Dustin, Adam, whatever.
5 seconds
Fans
remaining.
I don't
Coming
know anymore. I've just confused the issue. So
Winter Wyvern has made it through the pool as well as Tiny, but Benchwarmers have this first pickup. TKC did a phenomenal job earlier in the tournament with that Winter Wyvern. Oz in the pos 4 roll absolutely demolished ZIZ after they took a Roche fight. So see if Benchwarmers just want to take this the Winter Wyvern, but again, Tiny's in this pool now, so
Dire team.
you're gonna really let Grove have Tiny. Okay, they could take a Marcy instead. Now this leaves both open for Sin 5. We could just snatch them both up or take their pick at this point.
yeah, this is actually a little bit scary.
Yeah. Marcy has
What-
played
what-
well on Benchwarmer's side. Soup does do a very nice pos for Marcy
10
as well.
seconds
I'm
remaining.
sure TKC can flex it into that off lane. But ideally they want to have
5
this
seconds
playmaking hero
remaining.
that they can fall back on if Adestam doesn't have too good of a mid. But I don't
Dire
think that
team.
their intention is to give him a bad mid lane. Oh, I actually see. MD is going to morph into Marcy now, and they're going to have their own jumping forward with lifesteal, with extra damage, and a stun. Yeah, this is nasty.
Yeah, and
great.
why not? The morphings,
Yeah.
the morphing
10
has
seconds remaining.
not been pushed yet. That's the other thing as well. We spoke about it in the previous matchup, talking about how
5 seconds remaining.
morphings either have terrible games or good games, and when you have a meh game, it's because the game was won without them. And that's what this is. Like, morphing hasn't been pushed, so it's going to be a terrible game. We have a game in our hand. We haven't been forced to use our morphling, in the sense that they haven't been forced to show how they want to play it and push that hero. So may as well give it another go.
10 seconds
If it
remaining.
works, it works. If it doesn't, we still have a game in hand. Ogre is
5
so
seconds
boring.
remaining.
I love Oak, man.
I've-
He's got the worst Arcana in the game. I think we can all agree on that, but Oak is fine. He gives buff, he gets stun. If you want to be cheeky, you can go Midas, but overall,
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question, Corny.
Go ahead,
Alright, so
Mr. Tyree.
So we're talking about the fact that, you know, South African Dota is just, it's on this high. We're all winning. We're all winners here today, one way or another. Somebody decides that
Radiant
they
team
want to play
back.
Dota, but you hate them. And you don't want them to be part of the joyous experience as Dota 2. What hero do you tell them that they should learn to play? I would say it's Ogre. They would be so bored out of their mind. They would just be like, why are you having fun? What about this is fun?
What about Bristleback?
It's a slow moving.
Sniper.
Those heroes are fun.
Bristle, you
Ogre
just
Magi is-
click one button the whole time. You just do this.
Yeah. And then things
that's all.
die. You know what you do with an ogre? You buff your friends. And you're a blob. You're just a blob walking around like,
10 seconds
do me a favor,
remaining.
go take that damage for us there and pass and cast that buff on me, please.
5 seconds
You're such a
remaining.
good Dota player.
Okay.
Radiant team
So-
back.
Can't take you seriously right now. The Viper pickup, notoriously a very good combo with the Marcy here in this off lane. So MD might be in for a little bit of a problem if he goes in this off lane a bit too long and Viper gets too many levels in his queue. He did have that big nerf, so his level 2 is now his level 3 from before. So still, that slow and the tick over time, especially when you have such a low HP hero as Morphling, it's bad. As well as a Marcy to toss you back and stun you up, not looking too good. On the counter side of that, Sinister 5, they have one game to spare. This is the first time that they can adequately go, okay, we have one game that we can give away freely that we know it's not going to run over. Like, you could do a game 1, game 2, game 3 as well, right? But at this point, they know confidently, okay, if we let this one go from a draft that we're going to try
10
out,
seconds
they
remaining.
have the game 5 to play it through. They don't have to win another 3. They just have
But as
to...
per your
5
previous
seconds
conversation,
remaining.
is this the best of 3.2 and a
This
half
is
in the middle of the series with the coconut?
This is the best of 3 number 2.
This
Which
is the best of 3 number
currently
2.
is tied, actually. So this is best of 3 number 2. Sinister 5 won best of 3 number 1. Now, Benchwarmers can can win best
How is that possible? That
10
that-
seconds
'cause-
remaining.
Take the first 3 games, Sin 5
Uh-huh.
are 2-1. Then
Yeah.
drop the first
5
one, Sin 5.
seconds
Oh wait, no,
remaining.
they're 2-0. Yeah. Am I-
yeah. And there's a coconut and banana involved somehow. Just pouring that water, just on the drowning friend. glass water, just.
Well,
What
I
have we
brought it
talked?
upside this a bit. Anyway, A lot of bands coming out actually. The Spectre is an interesting
Live
one.
Leaks asked, is this game 3? Actually, it's best of 3-3 in the grand final best of 5 with Coconut.
With what is Coconut? Where is Coconut coming from?
Banana.
What?
Banana.
What are you talking?
Watermelon. A mathematical
10
equation
seconds remaining.
that incorrectly depicts pi.
5 seconds remaining.
That is what game we're in. I'm so glad to see Rubik. Rubik is like the opposite of Ogre Magi. You want some, if you meet somebody, you really want them to play Dota, you want to race, you say, pick this hero, it's all heroes. It's like the Morphling. Sinister 5 have literally given 2 people the ability to play every hero in Dota, and someone on their team gets to play Ogre. Can you explain that to me? They deserve to lose this now. No, because before I wanted Game 5 because, you know, who does want a Game 5 Grand Final? Now I do it on principle.
Well, we'll see. What's the chance? Alright, Benchwarmers are going to pick up a massive spell. That's not an ulti, right? Say Dazzle. Okay, this is actually mad. Ooh, alright, hold up. Time out. I know what they did here. The Slark Dazzle lane as well as the Viper Marcy lane. Bonus damage on Slark, bonus damage on Viper. You can't have 2 of both, but either one of them is going to absolutely shred. Slark does very well against the Rubik and the Ogre. You can see the Ogre stunning coming from a mile away. You can fake it out a bunch, but eventually you have to stun the guy and he's going to get rid of a lot of them. I love the Slark pickup actually. They got to get something here that deals with it well. I don't really see what does at this point, I'll be honest. Like,
well, I will say Slark's a really interesting hero up against Morphling, because obviously Morphling, his lifeline is agility and strength, but you take away the agility, you're like, what is the hero? It's kind of those better in theory than in action kind of moments, because I think that Slark has traditionally worked very well against agi heroes for the reason, things like Terrorblade and Lunas and that kind of stuff. But Morphling can also be something else, so it can be like a weird exchange in that regard. But
I feel like Slark is just going to ignore. He's just going to ignore MD this game, go after the rest of them, kill the rest, and sort of let the Viper and Marcy deal with MD on the side.
Yeah,
So, no, they're lacking stun. That's the one problem.
That's true. There's so they do need something that's going to really help, or maybe even something that farms fast and goes a Scythe of Vice.
OD.
Wouldn't be terrible either. But there's still, is it pucks on the pool, or do we still have an Anastam puck? I mean,
It's still an
a
Anastam
good
puck available. Yeah.
Also, there's also Invoker, so that could give you like all the disable you need. It's a good patch for puck and Invoker, so down with either. But you're right, they desperately need some like hardcore disable in their team right now. And I think maybe in a way, for Sims 5, this is a good thing because you can target the things you don't want, right? So you know that you can now have 2 bans, you can get rid of that Invoker, you can get rid of that puck very freely, and I think we.
I really hope Sim 5 that you haven't done this just because there's a Dazzle in the game. I really hope so, because Dazzle destroys an action lane. Doesn't do that well against Slark, let's be honest. He can't dispel the call, so it's a nice stun that they can get through that regardless, but it's... Yeah, I really hope that Sin 5 reasoning is anything else besides the Shallow Grave. If they can pull off, they can, but Axe does notoriously very badly in lane against Dazzle.
Although I hear you, I actually am a fan of this if it's not exclusively for the Shallow Grave, but you really don't want something like a Slark to pop a Satanic whilst he's Shallow Grave, and then he's suddenly full HP, and you just don't have any solutions. He's just now, like, he looks like... You know when Slark reaches that point where he looks stupid? Where he's just like, he's attacking so fast, his animations just kind of like, don't make sense anymore.
The Viper when it's too much next.
Yeah, exactly. You don't want to be dealing with that, so I actually think that Axe is a reasonable pickup here. I don't think it's a great Axe patch. Like, I think you make some good points. I mean, things like Viper and in particular as well, also very irritating for Axe.
Yeah,
you got that poison on you, can't blink. It's just like generally irritating. Like, there's a lot that's not great about this, but they might just see this as, we need a solution to this Dazzle. We're scared of the quality of the players on the team with that, the hero like that. Let's do this. But we'll see how well it works out for them.
It is.
I
the call is
don't think that this
undispellable. I think that's the good point, and you do have the chance of killing.
To be fair as well, also good against. I mean, maybe this is what you're referring to. It's also good against Slark's LT.
Yes.
You get AE solution to what's it called again? Cloud of darkness. That's not it at all.
Yeah, I can't remember. Dark Pact is
Flying Nimbus. That's bad.
the shadow thingy. He goes vroom vroom.
Shadow Dance. Shadow Dance. There we go.
Shadow Dance,
Obviously.
yeah. Got
I
it.
was thinking too much about the cloud for this. Because they get rid of the Kunkka and the OD, so they're definitely still getting rid of things that disable.
Sin 5 on Storm here. It's free Storm.
That is a...
They banned the OD, they banned the
10
Kunkka.
seconds remaining.
Bat banned.
But
there's no
But
pop.
how are we feeling about
5
Storm in the
seconds
path? I
remaining.
don't think like Storm's that big a deal lately.
No,
I think he's
but
like one of the worst.
It's a free
spirits
game
at the
for it.
moment.
Why do you not take it, right?
Yeah, but if you have a free game for trash, like
Then yeah, take it. It's
falling
it's
around
also
being
fast
look
to
at
make
me.
Storm Spirit. Man, come on.
I
I'm
just think
thinking-
that there are other heroes in the game that also don't like being stunned. We always talk about Storm because he was always such a
That's
good hero,
true.
but there's a lot of heroes in the game that don't like being stunned, and as you mentioned,
Meepo. No, that's horrible.
Dire team
Benchwarmers, they need a stun.
Lena.
They do get one. That's a nice alternative. I think it's just going to get a bit run over by the small scene at this point.
I mean,
Honestly.
let's say it has a good cooldown as far as like
Yeah.
AoE stuns goes, so it's not a terrible. And it is a hero that can go by
10
Sight of Ice,
seconds
so
remaining.
and we can naturally get Yules, and there's a lot that hero can do to
5
answer their
seconds
stun
remaining.
issue. They do have a lot of slow, by the way, which is probably worth mentioning. And then up until the Rubik has the shard, there isn't a great many ways they can deal with it.
Yeah.
And Dazzle will become a menace with his shard as well.
Mm.
So I guess they do have good answers. What are they gonna go for here?
They go for the Invoker,
Okay.
okay.
Now select
Castaway
your heroes.
Invoker. When's the last time we saw this? This is actually this is a long time ago that we've seen this last.
I actually forgive Sinister 5 for picking Ogre because they pick Castaway Invoker.
That's
But I
actually
do think that I prefer Sinister's lineup in general because I think they have an easier draft to win with, even though I think the laning phase is going to be the decider.
Mm.
If Sinister 5 have a great time and they buy space for the small fling and they apply pressure, especially things like Slark, which actually don't absorb pressure very well, Chosen One gets to the point where you can actually get in the face of Benchwarmers without dying. I think they have a
10
good chance of
seconds
winning this.
remaining.
But at the same time, if Chosen One's axe is
5
not being
seconds
felt,
remaining.
then firstly that Dazzle's going to have a really great time because all of a sudden the axe is dying in his initiation instead of in the point that he wants to clean up Shelly Graves.
Hmm.
I think that he's also potentially a very like a nice tasty Slark treat. Deppy also gets to play Dota this game. Last
Yeah,
time
he
around
does.
it was just playing Stardew Valley, trying to build up his farm, and people didn't allow him to build a nice farm. You know, he was caught in the dungeons, the mines, and just killed by one of those green goo things early on. But if in this game it's the other way around, right? Like Slark wants to be aggressive very early. You're going to look at that sort of 10-minute mark. He's moving around the map, trying to kill support. Rubik's going to be a great, tasty treat for him because obviously Rubik doesn't have great responses to Slark because of the Devon. You got to use better than this.
Shadow Dance.
No, the other one.
really
The
Bounce.
no, the
Dark Pact.
one that's Dark Pact. Thank you.
Yeah.
We're just gonna name all of his spells.
Just all
Essence
of them
shift.
in
You
order.
know, for,
Yeah.
let's just keep going. All right. So
No.
yes, there's.
This is, if you are just joining us, the penultimate game, the potential penultimate game of EGL ONE Season 3. Of course, Sinister 5, they can take it here. They can become the 3-time champions, complete the 3-peat, something OG could not do. And now we'll see if they can pull it off in Game 4.
Prepare
EGL ONE
for
Season 3 Grand Final, brought to you by Dell and Intel. And this is going to be the one to show for. I checked. Last time Castaway played his Invoker was, I believe, May of 2021. So it has been a hot minute, as the kids say, since he has played his Invoker. And they actually lost 2 Benchwarmers in that match. So, not looking too spicy on that, although it was an hour-long match. So you can see the time scale of matches has definitely changed. Swap sides, of course, this time. Sinister 5 and Dire. Statistically has a better win rate so far this patch.
The SARs are aligning, and bear in mind again they're coming off the big 2 wins as well. So they're feeling hot, they're feeling good, and it's really
30
Benchwarmers
seconds to
that
battle.
could really be feeling the pressure right now. And bear in mind as well, in fact, it's even doubled down. In fact, there is no tomorrow. This is the end of it. They lose this one. They're going to try to get up. Kill Deppy, scouts it out nicely. Do have Ignite, so you can slow him down. Chose one is happy to get on top of him. He also has Battle Hunger, so that's like one of those things you do. You started with your friends, where you're like, ha ha ha, let's just have this annoying draft. Oh, Shlings.
Yeah, Slinks. He stayed a bit too long that time.
How tanky is Ogre again? I don't think it's either. Got a stab, gets first blood, so didn't he also die? No, it wasn't.
No, it was
It was Toxic that got first blood last time, but in a similar kind of hopeless fate.
Threw his life to that one. So take me. Throw me to the wolves. The wolves have stun.
Snap, there's something we didn't talk about. Like we started talking about, and then somehow we just ignored the fact. This is already ignored the fact. We were talking about how mid-focus both these two teams are, and Castaway has been in a position where he's been able to style on Adestam without any, you know, hey, I have a better hero than you, I have all the advantages than you, life's good, what is, right? But Lina actually holds up pretty well against Invoker, especially with just Dragon Slave's ban. You can see how much it hurts in Castaway, and the good range. Obviously, you got to be respectful of Invoker. If you go for that Cold Snap build into like a Deafening Blast Meteor, like you have Forward Spirit, and you're also a squishy hero. But generally speaking, you just Dragon Slave, and then, you know, Invoker's just hating life, buying a ton of regen. And you can see how it's playing out already. He's got the advantage early on. 6-1 versus 3-1 with good damage out into Castaway. This is really important for Benchwarmers, and it'll be interesting to see what kind of effect this is going to have on the game. And if I were Adestam, the last little bit of my tirade is that I also want some blood, man. Like, Castaway has been just styling on me for 2 dirty games in a row. I just want to remind him that I'm, you know, I'm a hot tamale. I don't even know, is a tamale a thing? I don't know.
I don't
understand you, hot tamale, you.
Make it
whatever
interesting.
it is a thing now. It's a
Hot
hot
lane.
taco. Spicy.
Having a better game than last time. Slant. Much better laner than PL on this stage. Going up against the Axe, but at least he has some Dispel, and especially that stat steal when Axe is wanting to run into you. It's all free. Top lane, Sue.
He's
Very low.
actually survived this one, and Shlings will fall down to TKC instead. You can see good damage coming out from the ball, trying to keep things going, but in the end it's going to be 2-1 because we also see that Lina falls mid. That is actually...
That is huge. I'm just looking
That's
at
tragic.
this summary. That's a lot of right clicks. It is just a bunch of right clicks. I don't see a single spell in here at all. But there's a cold snap. There's one cold snap, and that's it. So maybe Adestam stepped up a bit too far. Doesn't have the stun yet, and just died. Ooh, top lane, MD. Strength shift.
Trying to go through this. Yes, he's going down. Shlings this time around, he's one of the big baton, smashing down on TKC. But that's huge. This is a really big deal because Adestam was winning his lane, but now things have changed because it means that Laguna Blade probably comes out later than, in fact, will certainly come out later than the level 6 on class. We're obviously less important on Invoker, but it's just you wanted to have that point where he was sort of still level 5, still had level 5 stats, and you can just hit him with the one LSA, nail him with the Laguna Blade, and just ha ha ha. When you get back, I'm gonna do it all over again. But this time around, it's Castaway that is gonna have that slight statistical advantage. Let's say statistical, if it plays stats advantage, a little bit more extra health, a little bit of extra gold, a little bit of extra forward spirit.
Lina still top of the net worth, only barely above. At this point in the game, these minor differences are not too bad. 200 gold in it.
No, top lane super in a little bit of trouble. He gets caught up by the adaptive strike to finish off the job, and of course this means that it's going to fly things up at 2 for 2, 1k or less net worth advantage in favor of Sinister 5. Very happy with that, considering they do have that late game potential for moving. Let's talk a little bit about Deppy in the bottom lane. He's sitting at 18 for 3 at the moment, so doing a good job at, in fact, have to
Second time this donkey's died.
damage onto
Oh,
Toxic.
Oh.
Does miss, but they do the telekinesis, they're going to pull him straight back. If your Deppy wants to help out, doesn't in fact go in aggressively, has the pounce off onto the wrong target, so it means Grove's going to be okay.
Yep.
We'll give that one Chose one, he made sure he was right in his face to make sure this one was safe. 2-3.
Adestam mid. Has the bottle finished up? Force a rotation from Shlings to come through. Super's also there in the mid lane. So now, one more of a lead. With the cold snap and these forge bursts, Adestam's got to be careful. I'm pretty sure this is what killed him last. the abundance of physical damage with that cold snap and the slight minus armor from a forge spirit.
Yeah, this is not what he needed, and again, he's just going to try to keep poking through with those dragon
Toxic.
slave. But
Not like
there's
this.
now an infused raindrop. Free top lane, a lot of damage on morphing is transform, turns things around, they'll bring down to DKC. Try and get those last little bit of love tap quite a bit of the job, but he realizes that Sphinx is just going to apply himself to his face. He took down too long, it's going to be 2 for 1. And this is the great thing about morphings. Look at that one tango, ladies and gentlemen. What's it going to do? One tango, one healing cell? Maybe you just need to stop.
Yeah, you need to just stop
aiding
that.
and that. It's like, hey, what's it going to do? Apparently, it's going to give you half your HP back because you actually gain through the entire.
Oh, bot lane. Oh, the Sunstrike is going to come through. A lot of damage onto Deppy. He does get the pounce, but
I almost feel
hold
bad.
up. Earlier, Toxic actually, he got a bit too close for comfort on the axe with his poison touch. And they
Lane
just
rotation
lifted
comes in from Soup, going to try and bring down Cosway. They actually missed with the LSA, but he is pulled back. Cosway takes quite a bit of damage. More comes in from Grove. Good damage onto Adestam. They haven't finished the job. And that is very disappointing as well. They really wanted that one. Cosway does have to be respectful. They're not giving up his kill just yet. Dragon Slave goes through. Adestam, still hungry, still hunting. Has to be respectful. Goes back into towards mid lane. As they might just find a career. No, he wants Grove instead, potentially. Gives them a love tap, and that'll be the end of that. Bottom lane, however, that's really important. They bring
But
down the
Dazzle
axe.
counter finally came through. He kept his distance this time. Back to mid. Seems to be the control of everything. Adestam, going on to
Grove very
Grove.
likely to go down here. It was disarmed though.
Oh, the Jukes.
Do you have the damage? They're actually
Exquisite.
disappointed in life.
Oh no, no,
Oh, they're
God, like,
really
oh
disappointed
my.
in life right now. That
Way. Yeah. I mean, Grove, what a player, man. Who the hell? How many other people get out of that every single time?
I do it all the time. I'm just that good.
You do. Sorry. Apologies, my liege.
That's a bit disappointing, obviously, for Benchwarmers. They really needed this mid lane to go their way, and you gotta say, I mean, good farm on Adestam, but it's just not what you need. You wanted to actually shut down Castaway. You wanted to make this an inverted experience as what you had in the previous game, and instead, I think this is going to be a little bit demoralizing for Adestam. It can't feel good to have
Deppy. That's just
nice of this situation. Deppy has head the other way. He does have the dog pack, so he gets rid of the battle hunger. TP out. And top lane is where the action's at now. You can see this time will go the way of Morphling. Picks up a kill onto the Viper and makes it 3 for 9 in favor of Sis 5. This is starting to look a little scary. This is getting to that point where maybe things get out of control early on. If Sis 5 start running away with this, it's going to be pretty hard to come back. Bottom lane, Toxic full Soup, trying to bring down Grudge. What a call! Strike there as well. The damage is good on Debbie and Soup, but there's just no follow-up. They're trying to bring down Grove. He survived the last one, has that magic stick to survive this one too. In comes the Morphling, and Debbie now in trouble. They're going to start tracking him down. He does have the tree line, so he's going to fully heal up. Soup and Toxic, they want to help out. They realize that they have to be patient for a way back in. The battle hunger is out, and you can see the movement here of Grove. Going to fade back Soup potentially. One Fade Bolt will do it, and there it is on the back line. Gets the tip as well. Make that 10 to 3.
MD has come to the spot lane. Wanted to get up this kill. They do know that Obs is there, and yeah, Rover's going to finish denying it, but he got it.
Absolutely.
Even denies Obs, man.
Exquisite.
Player. Mid lane, fast away. Slinks is here. Cold snap into the Sunstrike is going to hit. These Forge Spirits do a lot of damage as the Igniters there as well. The toss back though, the turnaround! Oh my. Slinks.
Forge Spirits still pick him up though.
Yeah.
And Soup doing a good job just blocking Slinks, but it's not enough. He lost him again. And it can at least say that the experience went the other way. But just take a look at the net worth graph at the moment to see that the Morphling still sitting pretty top net worth in the game, followed by a Dast, and then followed by the Axe. So Sin 5 are looking good. Biggest problem for me right now is that it's that experience that is just going their way again.
It's just so close on the network side. 600 gold is all that separates the top 5 at this point.
Bottom lane, doing a catch up. Morphling, Debbie wants to finish the job here. Strength gain doing work. Sidelines, Grove company actually stole one. They tried to turn their attention back onto Adestam. He's okay though. The Viper that falls in the top lane instead, so no skills down here in bottom lane. time around. They're not quite done yet with this area. Addison's got to be respectful, got to be careful. Misses with the LSA again. Maybe expected shows want to turn back around. Dragon Slave goes through, but good damage on to the Morphling. They'll go back in with Soup, bouncing around, pulling back, gets off a decent stun. Sunstrike comes through, does not match onto Addison. Getting this one around as well. This time Droven surely too much trouble. Try to get out of this one, they say. Finish off with a love tap to the behind. Defi finishes them all. Exactly what Benchwarmers needed. That is a big moment for them in this series.
This is very huge. MD sort of feels useless down here in the spot lane now. He can TP up to top, but Castaway's there at the moment taking that farm. Mid lane. James gets brought out again. He's gonna fall down. Lasagna blade to clean it up. Of course it was. It's a kill.
that felt like
It's
that
only
LSA
a 70-second
was somebody else's.
It's only a 70 second.
If he has any other fight, I'm gonna be like, it would have been better spent there. Like if he right clicks his axe, then it should have been there. Unfortunately, he's only Dragon Slayer. It's a farming war at this point.
Castaway doing well on his farm at the moment. Has a minus finish up, jungling for a little bit at the moment. Second in the net worth, just behind Defi, just above his teammate of MD.
It's the XP that's significant though.
Yeah,
Castaway has got the minus up 500 XP per minute at the moment, 440 only for the Adistam mid. So he's going to be very happy with that.
Oh,
he
MD.
knows he's got that start.
Oh! Look at the feet on this man. No, he doesn't have any because he's playing Morphling.
He's got
puddles.
I mean, he's a wave, right? He's got a wave.
He's riding the wave. So he is, yeah. I can go with that. Mid lane. What the hell is that? Someone was deep in and decided not to. Seems everyone has swapped over to the sides. As Not.a.Hero said, as long as the laning phase ends near 10 minutes, you know it's a high skill game. 3 of Sin 5 down at bottom, taking the tower, and 3 of Benchwarmers up at top, taking that tower. Should be an even trade through and through.
They're both fortifying. Doing each other things, taking on the possible top tower. Dial will go down first. And TKC decides. And bottom lane is actually defended here at the moment. See, there is some support coming in. So we've got the TKC Viper making its way down to the bottom lane. There's a lot of damage onto the tower though. I don't think they're actually going to commit to this. But now TKC decides. Leave me alone, he says. I'm not here. Promise I never was here, but towards the mid lane. Warding going on. They're going to smoke up as well. So Super as well as Toxic are smoked up. And there's an Invis rune going to be picked up by Adestam. They know there's no wards here. So he could feel pretty confident just popping this Invis rune and getting towards the top lane, but he's being called out and Castaway makes the right decision. Hides out in the tree line. Then says Forge Spirits to go push out the lane. And you can see that they're still hunting Toxic and Soup. They know somebody's here.
Well, they're going to find him.
Do they have a sentry as well,
they
so they can do this. Castaway, he's going to be caught inside. Drop the Sunstrike as well. Good damage. There's a lot of damage on Toxic. Okay, do manage to get off the Sunstrike as well. Ignite should be enough to finish the job. Soup and Co will be very happy with that. But that's a very good kill from 2 people that both could have died for that, and they would have been happy. So, good work from them.
Benchwarmers, Toxic and Soup able to find, they knew where Castaway was. Castaway knew they were coming. Get out, but wasn't enough, and now Soup, he's back into it. Stun's going to be there, toss back as well. Lasagna blade through. And Slink's definitely going to be going down that time around.
As an Italian, I'm very disturbed that you called it lasagna blade.
I don't know who
My hands are
started
waving
it.
around
It's
rapidly
lasagna
now with anger.
What? Don't worry, I'm just going to break my spaghetti in half next time. Mid lane. Here's a grouping up under the cover of smoke. Roven chosen one. Robe has his blink up, is going to use it, gets us onto Adistam.
Haven't played the job here. He actually gets out of this one. That is a big deal. Regen down there. They're going to try to turn on the first one. They've kept the regen as well. Done him up. LSA. Take this. I hate you. Hatred. Hate. That's what was going through Adistam's mind right about then, turning that one around. I promise you, it feels good. And of course, another little moment for Benchwarmers to rally behind as well. See, they're not unbeatable.
They are human. The gods can bleed. That one saving Adistam's life there is now mid lane. Castaway. There's his TP boots finished up. Opting for the blink next, but it's still going to be a while for that. There's bot lane, Deppy. He's enjoying this game a lot more than last time around. Second in the net worth.
On Morphling though, he's actually the highest net worth in the game at the moment, farming up some ancients, having a good time, got the Morbid Mask up as well, which means that we expect to see very little of him as he tries to mainly elusive in the jungle, and this is going to look at buying some time. So, concern still for Benchwarmers as Sinister 5 smoke up. What are you up to?
I'll take that.
Deppy. Be careful here if he gets caught out. The smoke is going to break, but the blink is here. He actually gets him. They had the vision all the while. Sunstrike, stuns are going to be there. Stolen a light striker actually, helping secure the kill. So Deppy actually with his is that his first death? No, second death of the game. Got a good catch for Chosen One nonetheless, making use of that blink dagger second time around. Fastway, hiding in the trees, going to TP mid this time instead.
Money to burn.
I just want to point out as well, very clever warding at the moment by Sinister 5. You can see his deep wards there, kind of around the area that Stark wants to farm, but not where he farms. So
yeah,
he's got to be very alert to see when the Shadow Dance falls off. But that one, they just watched him move there, and he was probably like, they probably moved this kind of tract over here, so I'm drawing the map, and that probably meant he didn't even notice, probably looking elsewhere, scouting around for other information at the time, and didn't even notice that it fell off.
Sinister 5 have this very slight net worth advantage at the moment. But it's more so the levels that are the determining factor at this point. Lena at level 13.
Yeah, I was going to point out, Lena's actually at the top. Yeah. That's really significant. If you consider how far behind Lena was and how much. Yeah, it's already a big deal. The biggest concern now for me is definitely Morphling, because they have not put any pressure on the Smurf. He's just farming away. The Aghanim Scepter not too far off it as well. Considering times 2 towards the mid lane is put out. Backs off though easily enough. And a little bit of an assembly on mid, as we have Benchwarmers kind of, they want to make something of this. Not too many people here not to do something about this. You know, push out the mid lane, but it's actually hard to push against the group because you need to keep Fade bolting, pushing this wave back, using any damage and just being generally annoying. So, Mini Smoke, Marcy, and Adasam, Super and Adasam, moving towards the top lane at the moment. But Castaway just reads this so well.
Yeah.
He's already in the trees, but last time this didn't pay off for him. And remember, they do have a bit of an advantage here because they're gonna know he's there by simply going into the tree line. But Castaway is walking towards him. They kind of know this is happening. Doesn't make this happen. They go back in. They have not executed well. Soup as well as Adasam need to back off immediately. They're probably lucky that they get away with that one. And that's pretty disappointing as well.
TPs came out, but no one connected there really. Soup was just millimeters off from that pounce landing and stunning her up. There are new items coming out across the board. MD still working towards his Aghanim Scepter, which of course gives those bonuses when you move into the morphed unit at this point. Adasam, still top of the network, going for the BKB units, I think is needed here with all of the lockdown that Sin5 have. Can't go straight into that Aghanim Scepter, as much as you'd like to get that bonus damage as soon as possible. ED in this river, Soup's just holding it. I'm not sure who they're holding it for. Maybe... okay, what is that? I think Toximus blocked in the trees there or something. Castaway as well. Building up to his Aghanim, so wanting that Cataclysm for the extra bit of team fight damage, and doesn't have to worry, you can just throw it and leave it, not think about it.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
No
attack.
BKB queued up for him though, so we'll see if they can get a stun onto Castaway. He's surely going to fall down. Don't have too much burst damage besides from the Zone Blade. A lot of damage over time on the side of Benchwarmers. Bot lane, Chosen One and Grove being a little sneaky. Trying to see if anyone's going to rotate to defend this tower. The bulk of the heroes concentrating around it.
I get a feeling that they're just going to slow things down for a little bit because we have BKB almost out onto Adasam. He's going to want to also picks up a shoal as well, so some new tier 2 items still to be collected. And I'm looking at like core items that are coming out. Like we're still a little bit away from the Aghanim Scepter Castaway, Morphling. Also, right there on top of his ag, so that's going to be a big pickup. In fact, that's probably a nice little time for them to fight, is if they can complete the ag on the... Oh, in fact, yeah, there it is, coming out. So if they can fight now, before Adestam finishes up the PKB, he's got 600 gold. Get it? Be a nice moment for them. Bear in mind, Deppy also looking pretty good. Got his ags up, got a mage slayer out as well. But he's looking pretty healthy.
Chosen one. Really going on here. That's a call for the extra bit of armor. Grover's showing up in time to help him out. It's Toxic's the only one on him, but Toxic will absolutely shred Chosen one here. Dragon Slaver is going to be there with the extra damage. The DD is going to pop through, is on the side lane. Actually, MD gets the kill onto him, and he's actually gone into the slot. Killed off Soup, and now he's onto TKC. The Sunstrike is there as well. He's straight into the strength. From Blast is going to come and hit Deppy. He's running onto MD. MD's going to be a little bit careful. He's going in the strength more, but MD is stealing all of this. The side lanes. Soup does get a kill onto Schlinks. Those just their pulse 5, so some 5 going to be okay with that.
That is all Castaway though. He really slowed that down. There were big problems there for Morphling. But there were just so many irritating spells being tossed out by Castaway in the backline to stop that down. And even during the pounce, I think he got a little bit unlucky because I think he actually got zoned by some creeps. You know, the creeps were like, don't worry bro, we got this. And he was unable to just right click away like he would want to. But it's a big deal that he doesn't steal that Agi, that he doesn't get the kill onto Morphling. It all just compounds into a nice little win for Sinister live in the end.
Very important that Deppy didn't die there and actually could hold his ground against the Morphling of MD at that point in the fight. So, bodes well for the future. Bro, in this mid lane, they're trying to get a pick off. Chosen one wasn't in range with the call. He's building his BKB first up here and feel he needs to just live through the majority of these stuns and magic damage. I'm surprised this mid tower is still... Oh wait, it's not. It's gone. Benchwarmers is still there though, but I was just looking at Sin 5s earlier. Like, how is this mid tower still here? The Viper
smoke up, not
and Alina.
from Asdam, Subenko. They actually... Are you going to sneak a Roshan?
Nah.
No?
No.
They want to sneak a kill instead. This has not been working out for them. Castaway's read this really well each time, but this time around, they're actually getting quite deep behind him. Can they get on top of them? They didn't execute well last time. They go back and sort of mistakes made. LSA missed well. It's time to boogie out of here. The disarm comes through as well from Definitely Blast. And if they don't die here, that's when this fight's already lost. In fact, Grove coming in the back line, picks him up with telekinesis, pulls him back into Schlinks. They're scared to go up to the high ground. Modcaster's there. Is the damage good? Toxic's still alive. Forces up the Shallow Grave onto himself though. And managed to get everyone out of harm's way, but they're still toying for this high ground. They want to make sure that they're the team that owns it, and they do manage to pick off the Shadow. Rather, the Shadow Priest. Dazzle goes down.
Yeah, look at Sin 5. They are running. As soon as this Dazzle died, they all run forward, yeah. Mid lane, they do get the tornado onto TKC. The cold snap there, call as well to lay onto everything. MD stunning, but he gets stunned off the side. The Union Blade is going to come through. TKC lives through it. The Cataclysm's coming, but he's already dead. Chosen one as well. MD is left all in this fight. He's gone into the slot. He's going to dodge the Light Strike Array. And Deppy now running after him. MD's got to be very careful. Slinks dies on the side to Soup and TKC. And now it's just Grove and MD left in this fight as Benchwarmers are able to turn that fight around with a style that I have not yet seen. Deppy. Oh, okay. Trees.
That was exclusive, these two. Honestly,
yeah,
that fight is not the same Dota game if Soup doesn't get that 3-man disable, because that was it right there. They had got the picks that they wanted. They had a lot of damage out. There were a couple of spells as well, so Sinister 5 were ready to just lock this one down. And all of a sudden, Soup is in there, multi-hero disable, a huge amount of damage that he secures for Benchwarmers as well. In a way, I almost want to... Yeah, I'm actually going to say it. I actually think they're still in the series with Soup. I think that if that play doesn't happen, they are very far behind at this point.
Got the kill on Castaway. That Aghanim Scepter came out. The Cataclysm fell, but it didn't do much. And MD couldn't hold his assault against the two cores of Adestam and Deppy. Castaway, back to his shenanigans, pushing out the side lanes as he should be in this game. Our Benchwarmers, they have this advantage now. The levels all on their side. Net worth not quite there. The main thing. Two cores, top of the net. Ooh, Chosen one. Fast footwork. Grove is actually going to lift him, bring it back. Light Strike Array is going to be onto MD, that's the more important part. Sun is going to be there, actually get the call as well, but yeah, I was going to say, Shallow Grave, it works unless the dunk is right there.
Yeah, you just gotta scream dunk. That's all you have to do there.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
You don't have to call anything, you just sit there quietly for the rest of the team fight and just scream dunk.
Radiant's middle
Cheeky
tower
boys.
is being denied.
Benchwarmers coming around the side, they get this other obs.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Ooh, lift up, the call is actually going to be their chosen one. He gets the Cataclysm call as well. So that's a quick kill onto Toxic. One that's caused him a lot of damage, not only in the heal that he provides in the Shallow Grave, but that slow is doing a lot to help with Deppy and Adestam in this game. Top lane. Actually, don't go there. Opt to head into the Roche pit instead. Bloodlust plus this Lifesteal and Morphling. Should be able to melt this quite quickly.
Yeah, they also have a Scotty out as well. So they're going to be in a really positive position at this with the Aegis up, giving them enough time to finish the Scotty and still go for a big objective. It's a bit of an awkward position for them at the moment because I do think their objectives right now are a little bit limited after this. They are going to take tower control and use the bombers picking up the Benchwarmers. But I think the most critical part about this Aegis is simply the fact that this is safe farming time for Morphling.
Yep.
It's more time on the map, it's more time on the clock. Everything that they need to sue this matchup, and it is pretty significant. I do think, again, worthwhile pointing out that there's still a fat Slark running around as well, also moving towards Scotty of their own, but just it's where you want to be right now for Sinister 5. You have the most money on the map on a single hero, and that is your Morphling.
Radiant's bottom tower is
Worker.
under attack.
Maybe slowed down a little bit, but he almost has his...
Tower is under
What
attack.
did you just do? He looked like he almost had his BKB, but something else was flying out. He went for the Blink Dagger, okay, so he backed, he doubled back with the Blink Dagger, so...
Radiant
I think the BKB is really big, important item for Castaway at this point, but I guess he's happy to just play behind something, probably realizing the fact that with an Aegis up, he can play behind this Morphling more safely, and at this point they're just going to look if they can pick up some objectives. Nice rotation though from Benchwarmers. They move to the other side of the map, they realize that your Aegis only matters if you're on top of us. The moment they see them push onto that tier 2 tower in the top lane, they start putting some damage out onto the tier 2 tower in the bottom lane. They don't have the same luxury though of being able to just stand and deliver like Sinister 5 are. They have to chip away at it a little more defensively. They don't really make moves when they see it happening. But this is a big problem because Sinister 5 aren't respecting times at all. They're actually up the high ground, they force out the fortification. But they still have a Carty there backing them up that's going to be kept alive as well. They catch up, dazzle early on.
See though, onto MD, the slow, this 5 stacks is a lot to him. He has his Aegis, the Light Strike Array is going to come up, but he's trying to live through this, finally gets to the water, but Deppy in the backline with Soup, they jump onto them, Grove is going to fall down, but they get the double call from Chosen One onto him, the Light Strike Array, the Zanya is going to finish him off, and Schlink's now the one left in the party, as 3 fall for Sinister 5, all for the cost of little old Dazzle.
And they took tier 2 tower bottom lane, that is a huge win for Benchwarmers. I gotta say as well, it was a pretty interesting decision from Sinister 5. I did not expect them to be that aggressive for pretty much that exact reason. It opened up a really good opportunity for Deppy. We saw him move onto the back line immediately, get on top of one of the players that may not have a high gold number next to his name, but has an enormous impact in the game, being Grove. Takes him up very early on. See the counter initiation coming from the Axe, but it's too late at that point because they're already a player down. And they're moving backwards. The entire thing is just a disaster from that point. I would have liked to have seen them being a little more patient. They could have just hung on to that Aegis. They still have it for another 2 minutes. They could have just farmed it this entire time, backed off, played keeper-ways. Maybe they still have their tier 2 tower up, and they have their opponent's tier 2 tower down. Sure, a little less damage on the tier 3, but who cares, right? You just wait out the next Roshan.
Sinister 5 moving bottom. Sam in this lane. MD's going to see where he is. Benchwarmers are backing up here. So Naden might flip onto him, just short. Cataclysm. Maybe use just a scout out. Confident that they can take the fight without it at this point. It's a very expensive scan though. At least it is global scan. Sinister 5, taking this bot lane, they want to use this Aegis. Minute 30 left, it's Benchwarmers, they're smoked up, spreading evenly, they're going to see if they can butter this up. MD, standing in the front here, brings in support, but the Light Strike Array, the Zanya Blade is going to come through, he still has that Aegis, so even if he dies, he's not going to do it. Astan falls very low, Chosen One's jumped in, doesn't get the call onto anyone, the Light Strike Array hits again, as TKC is going on to Chosen One. Actually, will make him fall. He does. Backline Deppy is onto Castaway, finishes him off with no problem at all. And now MD is on retreat. He has the stun up, but he's going to get stunned from the TP. He cannot make his way out. Now he's stuck with the Aegis respawning. Doesn't have the waveform just yet. He's going to be leashed up. Full strength is not going to matter at this point in the game. He actually does get one waveform, but cannot jump out as this is Benchwarmers. Oh, that bench is thoroughly warmed at this point, and they are running it through Sinister 5. I've been holding that one the whole season, I'm not going to lie.
What if they'd lost?
Whoops.
I mean, yeah, I mean, you held back too long. The game could have been over. Could have been over the other fight if Deppy hadn't done what he had done.
That entire fight, it was so split, right?
Yeah, so an interesting fight as well, because it starts off with Adestam not really getting what he wants out of the deal. But unfortunately for Sinister 5, that Morphling Aegis comes out at the very last moment of that fight, so it counts for North. And they're punishing this. They're still going. They've got up at the high ground. They've got up as well. The characters, they keep him alive. Super's very, very low. The Laguna Blade comes out as well. Tornado flies past. Doesn't quite find its man. 3 dead for Sinister 5. Buyback comes out from Yoga. They are putting damage onto this tower. They realize 13 seconds without the Morphling, 33 seconds without the axe. They can puncture a hole to the defense. There's that second fortification. I've learned my lesson. And 3 seconds for the Morphling. They still have a 4-on-5 advantage here at the moment. That axe is still down. It looks like they're going to respect it and back off, but that is the first real nail in the coffin for Sinister 5.
It looked like it was going the way of the call with the Cataclysm dumbing down as well as a meatball. It looked like the perfect initiation, but wasn't enough damage, and yeah, Adestam and Deppy able to turn it around. The Slark is super strong. Aghanims plus the Shard. The Shard giving the... It's a little stupid, not gonna lie. At least they did nerf the area, so it's basically just him. Only one fish allowed inside. MD, building towards his BKB now, sees that he needs to be able to fight man to man, and that means fighting into this magic damage of Adestam. Should be a wrapper. Sam is only now actually finishing up the Aghanim set. Opted to go for the Sanjukaya first up. Wanting to tank up more, and does have a nice bit of spell amper to it as well.
Let's be real, right now, it's Benchwarmers' game to lose.
Yeah.
They've done everything they needed.
Bye-bye, Sling.
They found Slings.
Yep, that's a gem for them as well. So all of this vision that Sinister 5 have around the map is going to go down. Deppy actually has it in his hands. So MD, he's got to be careful here. This bounce range on the Ags is very, very far. Actually have a TP coming. Oh, sorry, that's us. Apologies. But that was the first time he used that the green thing. Gem, that's what it's called. Just bought it, wanted to use it, get the high ground version, and it Adestam. Pummeling in that damage from range. Hasn't gone the right click build. This is customary at this point in the meta. Bot lane. I've seen this before. Castaway pushing side lanes. That's a 4-star finished up as well, so want to be a bit more maneuverable, want to get people out of those light strike.
Going towards a refresh orb as well, so he's got some plans, but I'm not gonna lie, it just feels like the exact mistake that Sinister 5 made is what we just need to see not happen from Benchwarmers right now.
Yeah.
They realized, okay, Roshan may respawn in 10 seconds. They have the farm, they have the control of the map right now, they're taking it over even further by de-warding with this gem. And all they really need to do is make sure that they're the ones who are generating more wealth right now up until the next Roshan pops up. You use that Roshan for as long as possible, while just making the map smaller. Maybe look to get an additional core item out in one of your cores before using the Aegis. And just do it in the form of traditional play. Go find a smoke, feel that desperation of your teammates, and then you're good. Then you've pretty much won the soda game. Paint by numbers. If you're going to the end live.
Oh, Deppy DD. This is going to be very interesting. Mid lane. Let's jump onto MD. Doesn't connect on the first pounce. Doesn't have the second charge available. See if they can tornado off this DD before Chosen One blinks in. MD. Looking off in, yeah. Let's get onto the snarks. This is what he wants to have. Chose one. BKB doesn't care. Really what he wants. Call is going to come through, and Soup, he's running in. Cataclysm coming through. Soup actually blows up Slinks faster than I can say. BKB is going to be there in the toss back. The call is going to be onto 3, but that is him dead without buyback. Sinister 5 on the ropes here. MD, the one big damage call that they have left at this point. Castaway has used Cataclysm, doesn't have that refresher just yet, so he's going to be without it for this whole time. Deppy picking up that DD at the perfect timing. It's able to use it the whole way, not use that dark pack and purge it off.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Yep. It's this might be the final moment right here. I think that they are just they're in far too good control. This game, and this is exactly what we're talking about. They first pickoffs and are pushing the agenda, and Sin 5 will be kicking themselves because this is being decided right here, right now. But there's some damage coming out into TKC. Big deep engagement comes out from the Morphling onto Toxic. Toxic goes down. This is actually a good fight. It is onto TKC. Gets hit by the LSA as well. Deep down they go. You can find the Viper. This is all really good for them, and it's right outside Roshan, and they might even have a little window here. Yeah, buyback comes out from the Dazzle though.
That's what they need. They know that this Roche is up soon, and they know they can't let Sin 5 get it. MD without that BKB would be so good. The Light Strike Ray comes through. Adasam's going to kill him off quickly. Super's trying to get killed. MD gets killed off. Kills him off instead. Deppy. Light Strike Ray is going to be on him. No dark back. The call's going to be there. It's undispellable. The Cataclysm comes through, but the dunk is sooner than that. Adasam does have the axe, so he's popping over the walls. MD follows him with the pounce. Light Strike Ray is not going to hit this time around. The BKB is going to be there. He doesn't have a basher to stop him. The Castaway finishes off top stick, and Roche has just spawned.
Oh wow, the timing on that. He literally waved the Roche, but as he spawned, and that is an enormous win. Just as we're praising Benchwarmers and how they've done enough, they throw big, and that was just a counterattack. That felt like a out of nowhere Hail Mary by Sinister 5. Maybe we can catch them as they're going to go farm, and they did exactly that. The pendulum swings, and it swings in a massive way as well. The good work done by Benchwarmers is pretty much undone, and now we reach almost an exact position of like equality in this matchup right now. I don't think anyone really has a huge advantage because there is a little bit of a goal. In fact, it's not even that significant anymore. Actually, I take that back.
Yeah,
Since 5
the gold graph just took a dive.
Yeah. This is actually Since 5's game again, and they have a big window now. They have a long time to use this Aegis and abuse it. And let's see, do they go for gold? Do they do what they did last time? Do they make it work? Well, the calls are get back, so this time maybe a little bit more sanity and a little bit more poise present in Since 5's game plan.
Castaway has his refresher all finished up now. The interesting pickup is TKC's been building this for a long time, but the Hex is going to come out on the Viper eventually. And then MD's got to really be careful. Opted to go for the Satanic now instead of the BKB, so if that Hex comes out in any time, still needs a bit of gold for it, 800 around about. He's going to have a bit of a struggle against the jump from inside of Benchwarmers. MD. They're showing mid lane, TKC not allowed to get him.
Oh, you gotta feel the nerves right now.
I'm worried, bro. This is insane. Oh my word. These neutrals coming out actually.
This is a very close Dota final. This is about as close as it can possibly get, and obviously for Sinister 5, it's everything. You win this one, as you mentioned, you get the 3-peat. It's a huge moment for them, I guess, just to really establish a kind of dominance that we probably haven't seen since the likes of Bravado Emotion.
Grove? Look at this cheeky man. What is he doing? Check where Grove is right now. He's putting orbs.
That is dirty. Just actually look how much vision it's giving as well. If they set up a bot lane push with an Aegis, they're gonna see everyone.
He smokes. He knew someone was there. The lift is gonna be up here. He actually has a Dagon. He's not gonna use it. That ward pain dividends straight
There's no
away.
buyback on that Dazzle.
None.
This is possibly it right here. This might be EGL fight. Oh, the damage comes out from that. It's not enough though. He's pretty much blown his load, and he is back up fighting 30 to activate Satanic. Flies himself to that melee racks. Ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, Grove! Grove! What a... Oh my play. The blink, the lift. He's got a level 2 Dagon. He hasn't even used it yet. Adestam. MD says he's done. He's ending this. I don't want to play this game 5. I'm gonna
They're
end it
trying
right
to bait up lost buyback.
Radiant's top
I don't think they actually necessarily have to buy back. I feel like if they buy back, it pretty much
Oh, the
is.
Hex. Grove comes in with the stolen Grave is actually going to be there. Deppy's running forward. He has to do what he can now. Ulti's going to be there, but the call going straight through. He's definitely blast as well. The double cataclysm takes him so low that another definitely blast is going to lay it onto him. He has to jump away as Adestam is brought back. He's in this fight, but he has to use his BKB. The Hex is going to come out once again. MD backing off a little bit. Still has a minute 40 on that Aegis, but all these buybacks, gotta see what they can do.
These 5 are all in. They're coming back. It's when they control the Morphling, they're going to pull him back on. Goes down once. Do they want to try keep him alive here? He wants to live, I can tell you that much. They say it's picture perfect, pixel perfect, but he does manage to go into the low ground. Castaway toss through the tornado. Leave my Morphling alone. We're going to reset, ladies and gentlemen. This game's not over just yet, but that is a massive win for Sinister 5.
This stolen poison touch from Grove is actually insane. The cast range and the Hex that comes through from it. He can just blink and catch anyone. Like, look at Deppy right now. He's dead. Lincoln's pop. Lift there. Going to be the stun to follow up. The call is going to be on top of him. Dagon say as well, and that is Deppy dead! Soup is going to follow him in the grave, and that is it. That is surely it. Adestam, only one left alive with no buyback, is MD. He's running forward. He says, I want to go make my shopping list. Give me what I want. The BKB is there. It doesn't even help. And GG is called as Sinister 5. They complete the three-peat. They are your champions. And more importantly, they are the undisputed kings of EGL ONE in South Africa. Sinister 5. The 5 best. The 5 you cannot beat. And they proved it once again, not even letting Benchwarmers come back from a game that they had in their hands. They had it in their palm. They were controlling it through the entire time. And finally, Sinister 5 clean it up in a 3-1 fashion, taking a 2-0 here this morning on this beautiful Sunday evening. And oh my, if there wasn't a better show of how you never count out Sinister 5. My word. What a pair of champions, honestly. It's been so impressive watching them the previous 2 seasons, and now this one again. They just show why they are the top dogs. They are the ones to be feared. They should be called the feared 5 from now over. That sounds like something from Kung Fu Panda. But my word, Devin, aren't you glad you were here? I know you didn't get to watch the game 5, but was this not a good enough game for that?
It's honestly a great display of South African Dota. I think that it's pretty amazing to see Sinister 5 actually achieve this, because this is not an easy thing to do. I mean, 3 seasons of this. I think it actually doesn't quite equate to 3 years. It's like 2 years now.
2 years,
I think our first one was 2 awards. I can't remember exactly when it was. It seems so long ago. But anyways, the point is, it's a long time to stay on top. And this is what it's all about. I mean, this, again, is that moment that you look back at everything you've done in 2022 and you get to say, I won. You won everything. That doesn't matter what other events you participated in. It doesn't matter what those results were. It doesn't matter which games you played well in and which games you didn't. The ultimate reward is this moment when you win EGL for South African Dota. And they have achieved, again, that year. And they can look back and they can say, phew, done. Couldn't have done better. Nothing more to achieve here, and it's a huge accolade again for Sinister 5. I think you look at something like Castaway at this point, and it starts becoming absurd when you think about how many successful title runs he's had. I think that at this point it's hard to claim that there's ever been a better South African Dota player than Castaway. I know that there are some people who may have had high MMRs, but he's the one who's won overseas. He's won locally, and he just keeps winning. So. A massive moment, I think, as well from it. It just seems ridiculous to watch this.
Not completely. Congratulations to Sinister 5, Castaway, MD, Grove, Chosen One, and of course Slinks. The 5 that they've been the dominant ones, right? They've been the ones that have flown us through. So congratulations to them for once again winning EGL ONE Season 3 and completing the three-peat. If you remember back in the podcast, I mentioned that someone was so confident as soon as it was announced that he already sent me stuff and said, I want to add to my shopping list along. That was MD. The confidence pulls through. He's able to put the team on his back in the carry position. Made very few mistakes in these games, but Castaway, the whole lot of them. Every single one of Sin 5 bring something to the table that is unique and different, and it's just a tier above the rest. Let's be honest with it. That is what happens when you win 3 seasons in a row, never dropping down to the low bracket either. Let's pull that through as well. Actually, they've never lost a series in EGL One. I've just realized that they have lost games. They have never lost a series. That, I think, is that's the proof in the pudding right there.
Well, I think that again, these all accolades are just, they're so good that you know that they're going to have to be toppled by someone very special. You know, it's not going to take just an ordinary team at this point to end the run that has been Sinister 5's campaign. But I will say this much again, and I said it during the beginning of our part of this series, is that this is a very special time to be part of South African Dota. I think that people need to start taking note again of the success of this community, the quality of the Dota, the quality of the production. I know that I think we recently had Comic-Con in South Africa, and this was, I guess, actually, if you think about the first time the Dota hasn't been a main stream event at Comic-Con South Africa, and I think if you're the organizers right now, you're probably kicking yourselves, because this stuff is entertaining. It's incredibly fun. We have in my mind, some of the best production people across any esport in South Africa. We have, I think I've always said that the Dota 2 talent were probably the best talent in the country, but it's kind of hard now to, you know, with certain achievements that have been made in recent time, it's kind of hard to argue it anymore. So if you want to have like the best talent around, you know, you need to start including Dota in these events. And obviously EGL is the forerunner for that. They're the ones that I think have really been, they stuck it out. I think they've proven a lot of people wrong by sticking it out, and that is a huge testament to the vision of the sponsors and the title owner, I guess, as well as in Evetech itself. So, and Evesports, of course. So massive shout out to them for making this happen again. I do think, once more, it is a very exciting time to be a South African Dota fan, player, caster, production person, mom who's watching their kids play. Like whatever your relationship is with Dota 2 in South Africa, it's a big deal, and can't wait to see what happens next. And who knows? I think I've already been pulled out of retirement once, so maybe I'll get to enjoy it alongside the fans as I intended, or who knows? Maybe. Just maybe, I'll get to come join you guys again one day in the sunny South Africa. But I think that's enough from me. I think we have other people to chat to now.
Yes, we are definitely going to have someone in here in just a moment. Good evening, Mr. Grove. How are you? Also, good morning, rather. How are you doing on this fine championship Sunday day, Mr. Champion?
I'm doing good.
Awesome, man. How do you feel? It's always great winning these tournaments, and we always say, how do you feel? But I want to say, how do you feel about winning all 3 of these? So you've completed the 3-peat now. You've done the whole shebang through and through. So what has happened in that Discord? Was it just like, oh yeah, okay, we won? Were you guys excited?
I think we knew that we were going to win after game 2 and 3. Like, we were quite confident in ourselves. Like, even after game 1, I think we all agreed that we should have won game 1. There was one point where I think we threw the game 1. So we were very, very confident. Like, we all agreed there wasn't really anything wrong with our drafting. It was more maybe being a bit too excited and then throwing the game. So we were always confident throughout the entire series.
No, that's good. Confidence is key. Did mention MD made a shopping list for the prize money from EGL ONE before the tournament was even started. You got anything you want to spend? Are you a sensible man that you actually keep and invest your share of that 25,000 Rand purse?
I'm pretty much looking at getting a new CPU and motherboard. Yeah.
Well then, you got awesome guys that can do that. Of course, Dell and Intel sponsors the event, so thank you to them. Just a little shout out there. So you could choose. But no, it's good to have you. And now I just want to ask, did you come up with the idea for that last ward there, the place in the base that sort of caught everyone from Benchwarmers off guard? That was just... I was first looking at you thinking back to your Earthshaker game where you sat in the trees for 5 minutes straight and thinking, okay, here we go again. But then the obs came out, the TP came through, and then you're just, okay, bye-bye Toxic. No more Dazzle for you this game.
Yeah, so I mean, the fact that I've got I think I had about 600 cast range extra, because I had Aetherlands, I had, sorry, maybe a bit less. I think it's about 500 extra cast range, so my blink is insanely long. So, and it was also nighttime, so I figured if I just sit behind a tree, I can also like blink into their base, I can get the deep obs, and it doesn't matter if they got Slark, because they're gonna think that the obs is in the usual spot in the base.
Yes.
So, I mean, like the way that we win that game is pretty much just playing off of our Axe Caller into double Cataclysm.
That was a good pickup there. And at what point did you realize on this game? Because Benchwarmers, from our perspective, had quite a big control over you guys in that mid part of the game, and you were able to turn it around at that fight. At what point did you see? Was it after that ward in the pickoff that you went, okay, momentum's on our side, now we're going to win?
Honestly, like I think there was only one small point where I doubted that we like might win the game, and that was bottom lane, where they were pushing our high ground, and MD was dead.
Yep.
But I think the only problem with our draft was that we didn't ever get Axe to get like calls in the mid game, so Axe just fell behind in farm. I mean, they had the same thing with their Viper, so basically all they were doing is both teams pos 1s and 2s were just farming. But I think we always thought that we would win that game, because I mean our draft concept is like very basic. It's just blink in, call the Slark, double Cataclysm, and that's how we win.
Was the
like-
Morphling sort of a stable pick that you were just going back to after yesterday? MD
Yeah, MD just wanted to play Pudge game 1. So, I mean, we were memeing around and handing Captain around, and then MD decided that he was going to have a fun time and just picked himself Pudge.
Right, I see.
But I mean, I think like we know MD is a good Morphling player, and we thought it was like quite a good hero. And it's just like there aren't very many counters, so we were anticipating that they would not pick, that they can't really pick AA. We were thinking that they would go Wyvern most likely in the first pick, so we did not think that they could go Wyvern AA. So we're not that scared of them picking any counters for our Morphling.
No, it's good at the end of the day. So of course, I want to say thank you for playing in the tournament, and of course, it's the 3-peat. You can't dispute how good you guys are at this point in the game, and I think my MVP, there isn't no MVP for the award, there should be, but my personal MVP goes to you. You've been a star player for Sinister 5, been the flashy one, and you've put the team on your back to make those plays happen. So congrats to you from at least my little accolade goes to Grove. And then, congrats to the rest of Sinister 5 as well. You can personally hand over our congratulations to them, because you guys played amazing through the whole series and kept that undefeated win streak through EGL ONE. So congrats to you guys.
Thank you very much.
You're not allowed to leave, by the way. I feel like George is closing off, but I have questions.
Sure.
So, as I've discussed, so you probably haven't had a chance to watch the broadcast yet, but I say I'm unlicensed in this event, so I get to do as I please.
You can do
until they
everything.
kick me off. Exactly. So I can ask the brutal questions now, that kind of stuff. So I do actually just have two for you. The first one I want to ask is about what's with mid lane, like what sort of emphasis you're putting there. Is it a case of you just expect Castaway to win, or is there some kind of picking like almost against Adestam to shut him down? But it looked like at least through the series there was a lot of dominance from Castaway there.
Honestly, we just pick Travis whatever he wants. Like, I mean, C1 said at the start like he thinks Batroid is a pretty good hero, and we can just first phase it. So, I mean, if we can just add extra bans to whatever, like, they pretty much have to choose a player in our team and ban out the heroes. So I think game 1 and game 2, they pretty much banned C1 out. A lot of their bans are like prioritized. I think they banned LC, Dawn, I can't remember some other hero. I mean, for Travis, we just pick whatever he's feeling, honestly. Like, we don't mind first phasing his hero. We know that he's like comfortable enough. I mean, there are very, very few matchups that we actually don't want to pick. So, I mean, a lot of the time we're just super comfortable first picking his hero, and whatever happens, happens. Like, we have enough like confidence in him that he's just going to destroy it.
Awesome.
So what are your plans going forward? I realize that there's a lot of interest in international play for some of your players. Some people have already kind of gone down that path, maybe feeling a little bit burnt out from the grind. But what should we expect from Sin 5 and the 5 players in your team in the next few months?
So I think we are looking at moving to a new MGO. There's no bad blood with Sin 5. I mean, we spoke to Ivor. He was very, very chilled with it. Like, he didn't really mind. So I think we are going to be playing for Royalty Esports. That's like our first move, and I don't think any of us are.
Big bombshell to drop, by the way, casually at the end of a file. But yes, continue, please.
So there's that. Honestly, like, none of us are really looking at going. Like, none of us have got plans to go overseas again. I mean, like, you know, if we do go overseas, I don't think it's going to be for Dota. It's going to be more for personal reasons like work or studying or something along those lines. And I think, I don't know like how other people feel about it, but like I think Royalty would like to have more tournaments in South Africa, like LANs again, because I think the last time we had a LAN was almost 3 years ago, like quite literally almost 3 years ago.
Yeah, it was actually, yeah.
So I mean, it's been like a long time since we've had a LAN, and I don't think we're gonna have another one this year. Like obviously it's end of the year, but I think next year, like if we could get LANs, it would be like really awesome. So we might look at, I don't know who we could approach for it, but trying to get LANs in would be like that would be. I think that's our number one priority would just be to have LANs.
Add it to the wish list for sure.
A big ask, but yeah.
No, but a fair point, and I think that, again this is like a podcast we can start, so we can leave it there. But I think there's definitely good reasons to be excited about South African Dota at the moment across all realms. There's been good support for these events. There's been obviously some fantastic actual production level that's coming out from these sort of digital incarnations of South African Dota 2, and obviously with what's going on with our talent and stuff, obviously it feels good to be involved in that side of things as well. So we pretty much check all the boxes. We have the production, we have the players, we have the talent, and we are, I think, establishing a better base of fans. We have some very, I think, proud fans, and they're still growing. We're getting more and more of them. So the thing that's missing is probably just, as you mentioned, like one of those like big kind of LAN events and stuff. Like EGL, let's go. Maybe need an EGL LAN. Because I'm not licensed, and I can just I just put pressure on them to do things. But anyways, I just wanted to agree. I guess my last thing for you is obviously just I think everyone wants to know. This is pretty much the end of the year. This pretty much is the cherry on the top for you and your team as far as South African Dota goes. How do you intend to celebrate your win?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, all of us are sitting in our own homes. Like, we're not like that. That's why LAN's also nice. But
I recall last time you guys won, you'd finished the grand finals, and then I instantly saw all 5 of you pop back into pubs and just keep queuing. So
yeah, like so Sunday just goes on as normal. I mean, it's like the same with all the online tournaments. I think that's why I think the LANs are really nice, because you can go out together as a team. I mean, even if you like against your opponents or whatever, you can still go out with them and you can have like a few beers or whatever. Yeah. But yeah, definitely. Sunday will go on as Sunday usually goes on.
That's great, but
I challenge you to do better. I challenge you to at least go to have a whiskey or something with your friends on Discord. Let's get some shots of that on social media, please. That'll be my challenge to the champions. Hey, that's a nice thing. We should do that more often. But massive congratulations, and thank you for entertaining us once again. It's been really fun being able to just watch most of this myself. So thank you for as usual giving us some great Dota to watch.
Yep. Thank you very much to the cast as well. It's always a pleasure to have you guys cast our games.
Always welcome, man. It's
okay.
Great fun. It's great fun. So thank you for joining us, Grove. We'll see you again, hopefully in the next season, and definitely under your new banner, as you said, of Royalty. So we look forward to seeing you guys over there in the gold and purple. So we'll see you there.
Yep. Thank you very much, boys. Cheers.
Cheers. That's it. Going to be us for Season 3 of EGL ONE, brought to you by Dell and Intel. We cannot say thank you enough to them for bringing everything to the table and making it happen for Season 3. That's going to be us. That's going to be it for this side of things. And I just want to say a personal thank you to everyone behind the scenes. It's going to take too long to name everyone, but I do know all of you. So thank you for everyone who's provided anything with EGL. And otherwise, Devin, thank thank you for joining again. It's good to see you back, and thank you for all you've done in the past few years as well. But besides from that, thank you, everyone joining. EGL ONE Season 3, the grand finalist winners, Sinister 5. They are your champions for the 3rd time in a row. That's going to be it. Cheers. We'll see you guys next season.